Do you feel when you get behind a wheel a sense of I'm good enough so it's not going to happen to me?
The moment you think that, it's gonna happen to you.
I'm definitely not about to go and kill somebody.
But what if you do?
I didn't want to open up that can of worms.
I wasn't lying when I said these guys are wanted.
Swim team, you already know what's going on. I love NYPD. Swim team, the dream team. There are people that want to kill us, you know? There are people that, if they ever came across us on the road.
Why?
Because they feel like we're that much of a threat to them.
How often do you have a close call?
I drive every day, so I have a close call every day.
You have a close call like every day?
Almost every day.
So I'm just doing math in my head of laws of probability. Because
Right.
you've been driving since you were 13. Let's say you started having close calls when you were 18. Give you the
Right.
benefit of the doubt. How the are you alive? You're probably wondering who these guys are, and you might have heard a little bit of it in that intro snippet, but this is the swim team from New York City. They are the most wanted drag racers in the city. Obviously, you're going to see that their identities are concealed for this podcast. As far as I know, this is the first long-form podcast they've ever done, but you may have seen them on my good friend Tommy G's channel back in April 2024, where there was a full documentary on them and the culture of underground street racing. This should go without saying, but I am going to put a disclaimer in here to make sure we don't have any problems with YouTube. We've checked this video inside and out to make sure it's up to standard, and obviously I'm going to put it right on the screen, but Tommy's video that has over 11 million views as of the time of this recording is fully monetized and has been checked by YouTube, and we did not show nearly as much in this video as he had to in the documentary. There is some footage of driving here, and the disclaimer is going to be as follows. This podcast is strictly for educational purposes. I want to stress that anything that is shown on the screen involving driving is dangerous, illegal, and should never be imitated. And remember, it only takes one bad crash to ruin your life or somebody else's. Please drive responsibly. Furthermore, to the YouTube reviewers, please see my full disclaimer at the end of this video, as well as my full written disclaimer at the very beginning of this video. Thank you so much to Tommy G for hooking this one up. Thank you to the guys, Wheres981, Float, Bread, 929, and who the that is his call sign, for coming in here and answering all the questions. And if you haven't already subscribed, please smash that subscribe button and hit that like button on the video. Also, you can follow me on Instagram and X. Those links are in my description below. And finally, if you don't have time to watch this full video right now, no problem. But if you wouldn't mind saving it to your watch later playlist so you can check it out later, it's a huge help to me and I really would appreciate it. Thank you. All right, we got a full house tonight.
Yes, sir.
981 in the building.
Yes.
Float in the building. Bread, 929, and who the name, not a, that's an actual call sign. So, you guys have the biggest video that Tommy G ever made, our mutual friend Tommy G.
Go.
I believe it was just titled The Most Wanted Drivers in New York.
Hello, folks. I'm Tommy G. Here with the most wanted drivers in New York. Look, they're peeling out. Folks, I wasn't lying when I said these guys are wanted.
And back towards that time when he was filming that, we'll say, I had a chance to meet you guys while that filming was going on and talk a little bit about what you're doing. But 981, let's start with you, and we'll kind of go around and introduce who each of you are and like what your role is and everything. But if you could just go through people out there, like what you do and what the swim team is, we'll start there and then build off that.
So, what do I do? There's like online renders that posted on YouTube, and we basically it's all dash cam videos for the most part, and we drive a certain way. We like to get to our destination on time, and it started with I was just alone. And then I think it was Float that hit me up through Instagram. He saw one of my videos, saw a clip, and he was like, hey man, you should come out and come see us. And then from that day on, we just kind of drove together. And then swim was never really a household name until we started off as friends, just driving together just for fun. And then afterwards, I realized that all these people were watching me, and so said fuck it, and we started the clothing brand, and then I started dropping the Wheres981 hoodies originally, and then we would always say, oh, he's swimming or he's floating through traffic, and then we realized that the name sounds really, really nice. So that's when I came up with the logo and then just made the swim hoodies and then kind of took off from there.
Right. So what you guys do is in the New York area exclusively. Won't say specifically where, but you can pull some videos online. You guys have YouTube channels, so you can see some of the public information. But you're going at speeds ranging up to sometimes close to 180 miles an hour, weaving in and out of traffic.
Yeah.
Usually at night, right?
Yeah, usually at night. I don't think we going 180 is actually insane in New York City. I would say like a little bit more tame, like 160, 165.
Yeah. Not too fast. All right, and then float. So you guys connected several years ago, I guess. You were one of the original members, also exclusively driving in the New York area. And I'll kind of jump around today with different parts of your story that we can go into. People are going to have to bear with me because in a journalistic endeavor here, I got to make sure that we're not revealing certain details about these guys. So if there's some pauses and things like that, just bear with me. But Flo, I would imagine you'd been driving for many, many years before swim team was a thing. Like, was this something you were doing as a kid, you know, before you were allowed to have a license even?
I started driving in high school. I mean, I don't know, high school is a wild time. So I think even before, like, I had a car, like, everybody just drove like this, man. Like, that's just how it was. I guess being an adolescent at that time played into the beginning of it, but yeah.
So did you, like, you mentioned being like an adolescent, because obviously, like, when we're young, we can first drive and stuff. We all want to do crazy shit and whatever, but you're like a little older now. I won't say how old or anything like that, but like, is there still the rush there today when you're weaving through traffic that you had when you were 16?
No. I mean, like, I can remember the first time, like, I hit, like, a fast speed. I was even driving. My boy was driving. This is back in the, like, Snapchat is like a sin nowadays. Like, you remember the miles an hour thing on Snapchat?
The what thing?
You could do, like, Snapchat filters and it'll show, like, 100 miles an hour, whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, my boy, he hit, like, I think 144 or something. And we were like going crazy. At that time, like, that was intense, you know? Like, that was intense. But 144 now is like, it's nothing.
No, it's nothing.
It's absolutely nothing.
Yeah, some of the speeds I see on these, it's like, it doesn't look like, Alessi, can we actually pull up one of the videos just so we can have it on the screen to show people? Like, when you're watching it online on YouTube.
Actually, you know which video you should go? So go back to the channel, right?
Okay.
Because you were asking about this earlier. That one right there.
The first one. Okay, so this is on your channel. Turn the volume down a less if that's cool.
Yeah. In this video, like, we're going like 160, 170, 180. I think, like...
And this is daytime.
Yeah, like, the average speed in this video is probably around 160. Like, we were going up to, like, 190. Probably, like, the lowest we dropped to, like, was, like, maybe 120, 130. But
what's crazy is when you're watching this on a video as opposed to actually being there, it looks way tamer than it is.
Oh, yeah, it looks way more tame. But this, I'm telling you, this whole time it was, like, it was pretty intense. Like, we were calm, but it was still intense.
Now, here's the thing, and this is kind of open to all you guys. I'll come over to you in a sec, 929. But when you're doing this, now, right now, this one happens to be daytime. The road's not packed, though. It's not like there's crazy traffic or anything, so you're picking your spot, obviously, when to do it. But when you're suddenly going, is that a cop you're about to pass?
Yeah, this is what started. This is the reason.
Oh, let's go back to that. So now you're in a cop chase.
Yeah.
Yeah, play that right there. Do you have the back cam here too, or is it only front?
It's only front. I didn't have a rear cam. I wish I did. Honestly, I have a whole from this day. I have so much videos that I never uploaded. Like, there's a bunch of stuff that happened this day. This is honestly, he messed up this day as well, because so the story. The story is, I mean, it's been a while, so it doesn't really matter.
It's been a grip.
Yeah, it's been a while. So pretty much the story is, if you go on Google right now, you could probably type in just orange Corvette C8. Yeah, just probably type orange Corvette C8 and then New Hampshire. That Corvette, like, I guess, like, he hit, like, some, like, record on there, like, getting trapped for, like, getting a speed limit or something. Like, I think he hit, like, 150 or 100 and something.
Different
he got
guy.
a ticket for it. No,
Yeah.
he got caught. He got a ticket for it. But he was in the pack with us. And this guy got a whole bunch of footage with him, a ton. But since we were out all day, it overwrote his footage. So I don't know if you it was
Oh,
dash cam
shit.
footage.
It overwrote
Yeah.
everything.
So
I was
how dash
literally.
cam footage works?
It's so crazy because the Corvette was going and I was literally right next to
Yeah,
him.
it was some.
But
Stay
he just,
talking in the mic, by the way.
Oh yeah, I was literally right next to him, but he just kept going, and I was like, he's wilding, right? So I just stay back a little, you know.
Orange Corvette C8. Yeah, okay. Then do news. Go to news. Yeah.
So
there
this
it
was
is.
not.
Police
This
and
is
damage.
not a member of
Literally-
the swim team.
This is 1, 2, 3. Every single article you see right there.
So this is a random guy. This is not a member of the
Yeah.
team or anything. You just randomly ran into him on the road.
Yeah.
You're saying.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow. How
And
often
the
does that?
funniest shit about this, so he got caught going 161, right? He left. The cops found him, like, cause we were in a pack. He found him, and he's in an orange C8. Then what did they do? They took the car. You see the mugshot, and then like I think like 30 minutes after that, he bonded out, got the car back. He paid like a $500 bond, got the car back, and then he came back and joined us. So I was like, yo, what did you even do? There was no point.
Well, you were telling us off camera before, and I think this was cool to talk about on camera. It's like they have to catch you guys in the act.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
like, if you're just at the Wawa or something and they happen to have intel and know it's you, they can't really do anything to you. They have to catch you when you're driving like this.
I mean, yes, technically, but the thing is, cops will still be cops. They're still, like, in a situation like that, yeah, they might catch the Wawa, but just because they legally can't do anything, they still probably will. Like, we'd have to be, like, anonymous in that sense, you know? But, like, if we're driving around regularly and all of a sudden, like, bro, like, it's been a week since I've even sped, and all of a sudden you pull me over and target me, then it's gonna be like, yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you don't have
Yeah.
what's the term again? You don't have
Plausible deniability.
no, not plausible deniability. Probable cause. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they
Like, if it was, like, right after and they would go to a Wawa, all right, come on now. Like, they could do something to you. But if it's been, like, a week and then you try and do something, it's like, it's a little, how can you prove who is driving? How can you prove any of this?
Have you talked to a lawyer about this?
I mean, everybody has a different opinion.
They do.
Yeah. Everybody's going to say that truly, like, yeah, they have to catch you in the act. But at the end of the day, they can still inconvenience you. Like, it doesn't matter, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they can still do stuff to inconvenience you and make your life hell, so it doesn't matter, even if they, you know? Like,
Yeah.
it's hard, there's no beating them. Like, if you think you're gonna try and finesse your way out of it, it's not gonna happen. Like, yeah, you could try and play by their rules and, you know, but it's just 50-50. It's hit or miss.
Now, is it public information approximately how many guys you have on swim? Or is that not public info?
It's not public info, but you can see how many channels there are. So I believe it's Float, Reaper, 929, Stolen, Break Q50. So it's like, what, 5 channels?
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what you're saying is the core of swim.
Yeah.
That's the core, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like, there's layers to it.
And 929, how long have you been around with swim? And just stay talking into the mic, but yeah, you're good.
I've been with swim. I'll probably say maybe like over a year, maybe 2 years, right? Yeah. And basically the way it started, it was kind of crazy because before I joined, I actually used to watch their videos like crazy. Especially like Bree. Bree was probably like one of my favorite ones. And long story short, um, I traded. I had a C300 when I first started, and then I ended up getting a M4, like literally probably 2 months after I got the C300. And so after I got the M4, I was swimming here and there, started making like a little videos. I had probably like 3, maybe 4K subs, and later on, my M4 had burned down, like just randomly. Like I ain't gonna lie, it was my first M4, so I didn't really know what I was doing at the time. And Bree ends up hitting me up, like, yo, like I seen what happened. Whenever you decide to get a new car, we can start, swimming. And then later on, I ended up getting a CS, and we that's just how it all started.
A
Literally.
CS? What model? What
It's
make is that?
It was a 2019 BMW CS.
Ooh,
M4, yeah, M4 CS, yeah,
that thing can go a
yeah,
little bit.
100%.
So what's the, same question goes to you though. Were you driving when you were like a kid, like illegally, or was it more just high school, normal?
Nah, it was low key after high school, but yeah, it was literally just once I got the M4, like this was already after I was watching videos. I just ended up swimming, like just on some random, and I ended up getting nice over time. So
Got it.
yeah.
Brad, you want to come in for a sec on the third mic here? Introduce yourself. Can we see him right now? Okay,
What's
we're
up,
good.
y'all? It's Reverend Brady.
All right, so you and I were just talking right outside. You started when you were young. You started like 12, 13, something like that,
Yeah.
driving in New York.
New York, yeah.
Well, would you go out on the actual roads, or were you going to like
I'd
empty
go out
parking
on the
lots?
actual roads. I'd go out of state. I'd take certain trips. My mom's car, my pop's car, my brother's, my cousin, whatever I could get my hands on.
What'd your parents say about that?
They were skeptical. They didn't really trust me going down the block, so they would always sit in the passenger seat, watch me, But when they realized like I had the wheel, they started like giving me a little bit more leeway. So I did what any teenager would do. They gave me an inch, I took a mile.
So they'd be in the car with you?
Yeah.
And you'd be doing...
Nah, I wouldn't be doing anything crazy. I drive like a grandma. You wouldn't even know it's me.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So just normal driving.
Yeah.
But then you would take the car out yourself,
Oh,
too.
yeah. As soon as you step inside the house, I'm going to go park it for you. I got you.
And they're like, yeah, he's probably driving like a grandma
yeah,
out
don't
there,
worry.
right?
Yeah, I've been parking for an hour. Yep. I've been parking for an hour.
And you've been around with swim now for like the last 5 years, something like that?
I've been around with swim since like the beginning. I've been in the background. You could say me and Float go way back.
Okay. All right. You want to introduce yourself too? You don't have to if you don't want to. Okay. All right. We'll hold off. So let's bring it back.
That's just to say that's Brody. That's he go way back too from a long time.
Goes way
in the
back
day.
with swim.
Yeah, go ways back.
Okay.
He's just one of the original. Yeah, he's just off the charts. Yeah, he's the OEM part you can't get in the store or the dealer. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. Yeah, you guys had like that's the crazy thing. Like you guys have all the merch. You got the merch is sick, by the way. You're wearing the shirt right there, 981. If we can see that, and you got the license plates out there too, the shorts, all through your website, right? It's like Wheres981.
It's all through the website.
It's like Wheres981.com.
Yeah,
literally.
Wheres981.com.
All right, we'll have that link in the description. It looks like a merch store.
Yeah, it is a merch store. If you Google Wheres981,
But the
it's a
thing,
merch store.
honestly, the whole honestly, it's switching away from like just merch though, because
What do you mean?
like swim is bigger than it's way bigger than us. Like it's way bigger than us. So it's like it's not even a merch; it's a brand. So that's why we're able to have it where it's like we could drop hoodies, this, that, and other, and people like they actually want to wear it. Then like merch. I don't know. Merch is like you're representing somebody's logo. This is sort of like, this is Nike. Like, I just want to throw this on because, like, I know
Right.
it's comfortable. Like, I like wearing Nike. I think that's how it's going with swim. Like, people they just like wearing swim. It's not even just they just want to rep the merch. They like it as a brand.
Right. Okay. Now, a few years ago, you were the guy who was kind of first like blown up on social media.
Yeah.
I'm talking to 981 right now for people just listening, not watching. But then this other guy comes up who is not associated with you guys, which is Benz. That's right. He's not a part of the swim team.
Yeah, he's not.
Okay. And I'm just going to stay with what's public right now and not go to private stuff because he's not a part of what you do. But if people have not seen this, Benz was this spring going on some streamers. He obviously posts his videos on YouTube as well, and they're pretty wild. And he eventually was arrested for things, I believe, unrelated to driving. So stuff you guys don't know anything about or things like that. But the vibe I got from him when I saw him back in the spring with Tommy was that, you know, he was the definition of reckless. Now, if I'm going to be honest, what you guys do is also reckless because, I mean, you're going at enormously high speeds here, like just shooting it straight. And if one car does something unexpected and comes out, you know, people die, including you and other people in all likelihood. However, it seems to me like you guys have perhaps a little bit more of a long-term vision of moving away from doing this there and instead building the brand itself through the actual brand, but also through things like an online video game platform where people could do it safely and eventually, if the money's there, being able to fund a real track to be able to do this legally. Is that correct?
Yeah, of course. Like, that's totally spot on. Like, so when I decided to make the clothing and I saw that people were buying it, I realized that I already had accumulated a large audience, and I can't just, like, if you had a YouTube channel with I think around like 100,000 subscribers at the time, I didn't want to just abandon it. I also had my day job as well, but I wanted to balance like the two lives that I was living, and I realized that since I have a responsibility to all these people that watch me, that's when we decided to look into how to get the Assetto Corsa server started up. So people, when they do watch us, they're all renders. You can go make your own renders online.
What do you mean renders?
It's like a running joke in my YouTube comments.
You know how like you render a video game?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on Unreal Engine 5. So
Got it. So that and that's in VR effectively.
Yeah, we go into Blender and make our videos on YouTube, and it's a lot of editing.
a lot of CGI.
Oh yeah. But to market this, if you're doing things that are real out there, that is what draws people in. Do you worry about especially guys who are your age when you are your age now when you started this, taking your lead and doing things where they're not as good of a driver and they kill people and shit like that, and you being liable in a way?
Like you know, when you watch the movies and it says like profession, like the disclaimer, professionals on a track, closed course. We're on closed course on a track. It's all staged. It's all CGI. This is not real. This isn't something you should replicate. All that stuff. That's the disclaimer we give to everybody. Yeah, it doesn't even matter if you're young or if you're 50. I don't care. Girl, boy, doesn't matter. Nobody. I don't recommend it.
But what makes you guys, I mean, obviously you guys are skilled drivers, that goes without saying, but what makes you guys professionals?
Who defines that? We do not know.
So technically a kid, though, at home could be like, well, I'm a fucking pro, too. I'm pretty good with it.
Right. You're right.
And that's the danger.
That is the danger.
Yeah, the documentary that Tommy made when he was in town with you guys, I felt like some of the answers you guys gave in there were kind of impressive, like had more self-awareness, definitely more than Benz in his part of the documentary. But like at one point, it might have been you 981, but it might have been you Float. I can't remember. At one point, one of you guys was saying there is no, Tommy was asking like, what's the excuse for this, or what's the logic for doing this? And you're like, there is none.
There's none. There's no excuse.
So what do you mean? But you still do it. So how do you rectify that?
It's still inexplicable. It's like I don't know. Like it goes back to like him saying he didn't want to abandon the channel. Like I don't know. It's like we have this thing. We're just gonna get it to its fruition, let it grow, let it bloom, and then once it flowers, that's it. We'll enjoy the fruits of our labor, and then from there it could come to an end because we see it end. You know.
Yeah, and also not to cut you off, but when I started this, I didn't think it was gonna blow up the way it did.
We didn't.
It was strictly dash
Sure.
cam videos. I had it's so funny because I put a dash cam in my car because it's New York City, and you want to have a dash cam just in case if anyone else ever hits your car. And then I would like drive fast, and then I would want to like pull up a clip just to show my friends, and then it started off with like, wow, like this is so like easy for me to just take the dash cam footage and just upload it to YouTube at the end of my night. And I just kept uploading videos, and some people, I have like a lot of international fans that watch the videos just to see what it's like to drive in New York, right? They like the city, they like the seeing, like especially when you're on Long Island Expressway and you're going towards the city, you see the skyline, and people in the comments are like, wow, like they live through my videos, and I've built like a pretty big following just by doing that.
So in a way, it's like anything else. As you build for the crowd, you become the entertainer. And I know what this. I mean, I'm a content creator
Yeah.
too, and you gotta think about like what you're doing for yourself versus what you're doing for other people.
Yeah.
Now you started this because you do enjoy driving like that, but like, do you think, like you were just saying, Float, at some point when the flowers come to roost, or however you said it, like there will be an end to it. But do you worry that the goalposts will keep moving on that? Because the expansion of this gets bigger and bigger, the expectations get bigger and bigger, and then the goals get bigger and bigger?
Not really, because we're not really focused on the driving aspect as much as we are with growing the online presence, because I stream on Twitch on my free time, and I got some people that just chill with me and then watch me play. We have a 5M server, and then we also have a set of Corsa servers, so that's really like the way we're going. And also we started I think you remember Slide. We so we're basically like
That's gonna be the next
yeah.
thing.
So Slide is basically like we're just
You know how we
drifting.
swim?
Yeah.
It's so the thing about swim is so simple. That's what it really always has been. It's just so simple. It's so, and everybody swim. You know, I'm swimming.
Yeah.
And then now, and honestly, it's not even, well, dang, I don't even want to say the third part yet. That's the next level. Yeah, we'll save that for the next time.
So Slide's
But
another
Slide
term?
is like is going to be the next level for us, because like you know how people go slide their cars. Essentially, they're drifting around, power sliding around.
Yeah, I was thinking drift in my head. Is
Yeah,
that what
that's
you mean?
exactly what it's gonna
Yeah.
be. It's gonna be like swim, but we're gonna be sliding, and it won't be anywhere near as dangerous. Like, you still get a little bit of recklessness because you're still doing like stuff in a car, but you could get away from pedestrians and things of that sort.
Right.
So there's definitely things that we have in the works to get away. Like, I think everybody's big question is like, why do we put people at risk? And that's what we're getting away from. Like,
But you're still in the middle of it now. You're still putting people at risk. Do you feel a sense of, and I'm not doing this to be like in a gotcha scenario. I just want to know the mentality, because I've never done this.
Yeah.
Do you feel, when you get behind a wheel, a sense of, I'm good enough, so it's not going to happen to me?
The moment you think that, it's gonna happen to you.
yeah,
So you don't
We
think
kind of expect it to happen in a weird way, but like we have insurance on all our cars, and at that point it would just become like an insurance problem, God forbid.
honestly, it's not I don't think it will happen. It's what can I do to minimize and yes, I'm gonna say minimize risk, but I'm still gonna be in a risky situation by going fast and etc. But what can I do to do that as safe as possible and minimize as much risk as I possibly can while moving as fast as I possibly? That's really what it is. How can I move as fast as possible, as safe as possible? That's what we've always tried to do.
Do you understand why people out there listening right now would think in their head, like,
They're
okay,
like,
someone...
if you wanted this to be safe, just go slow, right?
Yeah.
And that is the 100% logic. But I don't know. That's gonna always be the catch-22. We'll never have an answer for why we do go this fast. But I don't know. We'd have to ask every single person that goes out and speeds on the highway the same question, because when you get pulled over by a cop, why are you speeding? Nobody's ever going to have a good answer. You're never going to have a good answer to why you were speeding. It's just, we don't know.
But there's levels to it, though, too. Like, if someone's speeding and considered really speeding, like maybe they're doing 90 to 100, somewhere in there. I'm just looking at physics here. The physics of that versus 150. Let's be more conservative.
Honestly, if you even pass, like, 70, you're at risk.
Yeah.
At 70, it's like you're at risk. At 100, it's pretty much over. 150, it's like you're not even. It's not even a discussion.
That's what I'm saying. How can you plan to do that safely when, again, maybe you guys are great at doing it, but like the little old Asian lady who's switching from the right lane to the middle lane, you know, and isn't thinking about it, and you happen to be coming by.
There's no good answer. There's no justification. There's nothing we could say. It's gonna be a hard thing to answer every single time. That's why, because we don't have an answer, that's why we're trying to go away from it. Because we don't have an answer for it, you know. It's so hard to even justify or say why we're doing it, but we still do it. I guess you could say we have fun. I mean, that's the same thing why everybody goes on and drives fast, but even then, it's like everybody's gonna say, why can't you have fun in this way? It's gonna be I don't know every single time. I don't know why.
Well, Brad was talking about, like, his parents, at least you were saying they were, like, aware you were doing this.
They're still aware.
And they're aware now.
My mom
right?
and they're fully aware.
And what did they say about it?
They just pray for me every day.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, Sam. They just pray for me.
Have they ever driven with you?
Oh no.
I know they've driven with you. Not the real you.
I took them on a jump scare one time.
Yeah. So they haven't with you.
No.
Have they seen you do it? Like, have they like the marathon, like, watch you go by, like, yay?
No.
No.
I try to keep everything like very separate.
Personally,
Wait. Let's get the mic over to him. Sorry.
Personally, I flew past my brother on the highway, and he actually called my mom and snitched.
Oh, he snitched on
He
you.
snitched on me.
Did you know you were flying by him?
I didn't. I actually didn't see him. I was flying too fast. I think he claims I cut him off. I don't remember.
How do you know it was you? You're going so fast.
He knows my car. I parked next to him every night. Yeah, so it's like, it's just no argument. So, but it was just like, you could have called me and just told me, like, yo, slow down. I was like, okay, while I was still speeding.
But he called the
Yeah,
police.
he called moms. And it was.
He's not driving like a grandma out there.
Yeah, she was like, you know, I don't know why you do this. And then it's like, what do people think of you? It's like, in that moment, I'm not thinking of what people think of me. As Float said, I'm just trying to minimize risk while just like doing what I love. It's inexplainable, like, why we do it. It's just for the love of driving. Like, put us on a track every day, yeah, we'll enjoy it, but
would it be the same? Right?
It wouldn't. It wouldn't. But that's the problem that everyone has with us, is the risk factor. So
that risk. Yeah. Hold on. Let's just get the mic to you. Sorry. Go ahead. You're good.
A track, like, it's fun, but damn, man, you gotta plan for that shit. You gotta, like, spend the whole day. You gotta drive, like, this far to the track. You gotta do a lot. A track day takes a lot.
Because there's not a lot of options right now, but if there were options.
Nah, even if we probably had one, like, locally, it still takes a lot. Like, your car has to be prepped. You're not, like, a lot of stuff has to happen for you to have a track day. Versus me, I gotta go to work. I'm gonna try to get to work as fast as possible. There's not much. I get everything done right there. That little 20-30 minute ride to work, you know, stuff like that happens. Like, the track days it takes a lot versus just going to wherever you gotta go, and then you get the same kind of adrenaline rush or whatever it is.
Also, like, when you see people driving on track, especially on Instagram, and you see videos of people crashing on the track, you would think that everybody would support them to get better, or like at least be a little bit nice. But you see the comments just flaming whoever crashed at the track. But the thing is, like, where else are you supposed to learn and crash, right? So people always say, "Oh, take it to the track, take it to the track." If you take it there and you have a mistake, most people that go to the track aren't very supportive of like other drivers. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, it's kind of like it's like a situation where everyone's trying to be the best, you know? Everyone's very competitive, which isn't bad, but there should be like, it's better to crash on the track than on the public street. And that's why I just don't understand where all the criticism is coming from, especially if someone's learning how to drive on the track and they crash.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Have you done some vids? Because you're not showing yourselves on the vids. So when I watch these, like, a lot of them look the same to me across channels. But have you done some where you're like in Times Square? I know there was one Squeeze Benz video where you did that. Or are you guys pretty much always operating on highways?
No local. You won't find us on local. Like, I mean, there's probably like, this guy has a chase on local, but
I was going like
slow.
under 20 the whole time.
Yeah, he was going slow. It's not like
120?
No, I was going like
Under 20.
under 20. I was like around going like 30.
I heard 122. Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's slow, huh? Do you guys go in the tunnels?
Which tunnels?
I don't know, the fucking Lincoln Tunnel, the Holland Tunnel?
Yeah, Lincoln Tunnel, yeah.
Now, does that get into, like, multi-state issues, though, potentially? Or do you know exactly where that line is?
I'm not coming to Jersey to break your laws. You know? Like, okay. You know, it's like, there's no intent behind, like, coming out here. And we just, if the time is right, the time is right. Like, we check for cops, check for people on the road, and go from there. And my car's always been maintained. Like, I'm, like, super anal about my maintenance, and like when it comes to like my brakes, my tires, man, like I love, like, one of my favorite things to do is literally like try different brands of tires and see like which brand sticks the best. And since we don't have a track, I just hop on the Jackie Robinson, and in the middle of the night I'm just flying up and down, just going.
That's how you test it.
Yeah, but in the middle of the night, it's pretty much like, there's probably like 4 cars on the Jackie. And then, like I said, going back to that risk factor, you limit exposure because there's less people on the road.
Right.
But you don't really see a lot of people like going and driving fast on an empty road, because that actually takes skill. You actually have to know your car and actually take the turns properly and not spin out, versus going in a straight line and going and turning the wheel left and right and fitting through like the tightest cars. Like, that's not really something I'm interested in. And I never was, even when I started.
That is swimming, though, effectively.
Swimming is, so you basically want to get from point A to B without harming anyone, and basically as fast as possible. That's basically what swimming is. It's effortless. If you look at some of the videos, it's just, actually you could pull up on Float's channel. I believe it's, if you just go to his videos, I'd be able to point it out for you.
Okay, I'll pull that up.
And then go to videos, and then popular.
That fourth one.
And then right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a daytime one, and this is just you, Float, or are you guys in a team here?
This is Bree,
Yeah, and
and Silver.
Okay. And I also want to say this, you guys, and this, you've kind of already said this, but just to be clear, you guys drive all your own cars. You're not stealing cars or anything. There's none of that going on.
No.
Whereas there's other crews that apparently do that stuff, but you guys are using your own stuff, so all that part's legal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, now what are we looking at here?
I'm driving right now. Float's recording. And basically, the goal is to like see how this opens up, and then we're going. I think we slow down when we need to slow down. Is basically what I'm trying to say. There's like a fluid motion to this.
Are you always looking like 3 cars ahead?
Yeah, we're always
Further
on
than that.
And it's not even that. I'm also looking at traffic, and you don't pay attention to people in New York, the signals. Pay attention to where their tires are and if they're moving over the lane because
I'll
people
see
will
if somebody's
signal
moving lanes
and
right
like
way
it's
before you
mhm.
think.
Yeah. Guys, please don't forget to share this episode around on social media and with your friends, whether it's on a text chain, Instagram, Facebook, Reddit, Twitter. It's all a huge help. Reddit in particular is incredible, some of those communities there. So thank you to everyone who's already been doing that, and thank you to all of you who are going to do so now. Yeah, like I don't always, I'll be honest, like I don't always turn on my signal to move lanes.
Yeah,
I'm just
that's
moving
fine.
fucking
It's
lanes.
okay. It's fine. It's okay.
I wouldn't be in your
The
way.
thing is, people subconsciously, even though they don't turn on their signal,
Mhm.
you still drift.
Mm.
And that drift is how you could tell.
But you see how everyone's just like in uniform and like in unison.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're just passing cars. Nothing too crazy.
And how, because we don't have a speed radar on the screen right now, what do you think you're doing? Like 80,
Like,
90?
Yeah, 90, 110 maybe.
Yeah.
And you see how it opens up. Now we're going fast.
And you're in a line here, the three of you. So
yeah, and
so
we
the
never,
first
we
car's
never,
in charge.
yeah, and we never pass anyone unless it's safe to do so.
But how do you determine safe if you're moving at this speed? Again,
You just get a feel for it. Like if you cut back a little, like that was very close, but I just knew the car was gonna get through.
you
Like
guys.
in this moment, there's no way you're gonna be able to pass somebody. Like it doesn't make sense.
Stay with the mic if you don't mind.
No, yeah, I'm saying like in these moments, like you see how everybody's lined up.
Yeah.
There's no room to pass, which why would you even want to? But it just doesn't make sense right now.
Now, what happens when you guys pass a cop? Because I mean, a lot of us know like the urban legends that like, oh, if you're going a certain speed, they don't even try.
Unless traffic like came to like a dead stop, I don't even think we'd even consider the cop at all. There's no, yeah.
It's like, hold on, there's like a Simpsons clip.
Unless traffic came to a dead stop, I don't think we'd even care.
Because they're not even. You're just going too
There's
fast.
like
I
a
mean,
Simpsons
that's if they
clip
even decide to chase us.
that says,
Yeah.
I think the car sped past, and I think the cop was like, well, a person going that fast has no time for a ticket.
No, it's true. Like, there's been times where even with like the state troopers, where like I'll see the thing is, it's you can see it in the brake lights, so you'll see when they shift into drive.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, I saw the cop shift into drive, but I'm going too fast. You just see him; he doesn't move. He just stays. I know he went to drive, but he does not drive away. He stays there because it's no point unless I come to a dead stop. There's no way he's gonna be able to catch up to me.
Have you guys been in high-speed chases, though, with cops, with, like, multiple cops that have come after
The
you?
first video that we were watching, remember you said I was passing the cop?
Yeah.
There was like 4 of them that were trying to like lock us
I mean,
in a
you
little
left
bit.
him in the dust, though.
Yeah,
Like, he was gone in 2 seconds.
Yeah, but there were more
you're
cops
saying,
up
like,
ahead
came
that they
close?
radioed in.
Yeah, have you had ones that come close?
You guys get close to the cops than I do. I don't like getting close to them.
There's some that's not televised.
Yeah, the ones that are
Pull the mic, right? So. There's some that are not on here.
It's always the ones that are not televised that you'll never hear about, but it's like if you understood the story, you'll be there. Like right now,
Can you tell one of them without revealing necessarily the road or the time?
let's just say I'm top offender in Jersey.
In Jersey.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Jersey PD's about to write that down.
Yeah.
I'm not top offender, though, but like I've
Allegedly.
had a run-in with them before, and it got kind of scary on my part. It was 4 against 1. Yeah, they were trying to like pit me around the corner, kind of thing.
Is this on a highway or?
I feel like I said too much already.
Okay,
I don't know if I
alright,
could piece
then
too
don't
much
go beyond
more.
that.
Yeah.
All right, so it's 4-on-1. How do you get away from a 4-on-1 other than just pure speed?
Cornering.
What do you mean by that?
That American muscle is not going to handle that corner the same way German engineering is. Yeah, so.
Goddamn Hitler engineering strikes again.
Yeah. Yeah, it handles it a little bit different. They I call it pay to play. So you got to pay to, play. You want to take that corner that fast. You got to either spend that money on that suspension upgrade, tires and everything on a, lower end car. And you still got to do it on a higher end car. But, you as the driver, do you know your limits? Do you know what your car is capable of? Do you know what you're capable of? Like, one thing me and Flo talk about a lot is endurance or stamina, if you will. A lot of people can they can't keep up for that long. You could take 1, 2 to 5 cuts and it's like, oh my God, I did these super crazy cuts that have my hand shaking out my ass. But it's like, yeah.
Hold on, let's pull in.
Yeah,
Driving high
driving at
speeds.
high speeds for a long time, it takes a toll. Like it's a not only just a mental toll, like it's physical. Like you're fighting that car. Like you're fighting the car.
What's it? So, all right, this is a good place to go into this because again, I've never driven at those speeds before. Like when I was like a daredevil, my daredevil was like I was doing 90 to 100. I thought I was badass when I was 20, but you know that's fucking pussy shit compared to what we're talking about here. So physically, like you talk about taking corners, for example, and you just define what that is, Brad. But before we even get to the how it affects you physically. Over time, you had to learn how to do these things, which means you had to blow out tires. You had to potentially fuck up cars,
I've
too.
had tire blowouts at 100, and I think I had a tire blowout at like 140 before.
How does
and
that
it was
even
like
work?
mid-lane shift. Like the car, like I don't know, like it, for some reason it wasn't as like exaggerated as you think it would be. Like, but the car like buckled a little bit, and then yeah, I was able to keep it straight. You know, like in that moment it's like because anything can happen. Like anything can really happen. And in that moment you think like, fuck, like this is it. But no, it wasn't that bad.
So a tire blowout at 140, your car didn't like flip over?
No.
Wait, was it the front or back tire?
It was in the rear. It wasn't in the
rear
front.
tire. That's probably
It
why.
wasn't, but even in the front, it still would have probably been fine. Like it didn't like, it blew out the sidewall, but it wasn't like the tire came off the rim or anything. So like it was still running on rubber, but like when I jacked it up, the entire sidewall on the inside was like gone. Like it was like it exploded, like it was crazy. But I don't know. I think I had the reason why that's one reason why I don't fuck around with like low tires. I think I had a slow leak or something, and the tire blew out because I had the slow leak. The tire pressure went too low.
How much are tires going for these days?
Oh man, it depends on who you ask. Like my tires are the most expensive. Like
We have a tire sponsor.
Yeah,
I
we
do.
get free tires by the way.
Yeah, I'm getting hooked up on tires right now, but I mean, good tires is like $300, $400, $500 depending on what's the size.
So but what I'm saying is like, especially as you're coming up and like in your younger years, especially before you have real jobs and things like that, like this shit is expensive as hell. Like you're driving nice ass cars, and you're like the equipment you're blowing out all the time.
Yes.
Like I know we're laughing because it's obvious, but like Jesus, like how do you even keep
Honestly,
up?
Brake pads, thank God I have warranty. Brake pads, if you were to calculate how much if I really didn't have warranty, I'd probably replace my brake pads. There was a point in time where I was doing every 2 weeks. Yes, every 2 weeks. Like there was just like a 3-month period where I was replacing pads every 2 weeks. Like there was one time where it was like 1 week I replaced a pad, 1 week I replaced a pad. Like it was bad. But like brake pads, tires, especially when you start like sliding, doing burnouts, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I
I remember watching Tokyo Drift. And they're just like, they'd like burn out and it would look like a half hour. They're like, all right, put some new ones on.
That's it. Honestly, that's how this guy Bruce is with this tire, with our tire plug. That's how Bruce is moving right now. He's like, this dude's like, all right, so there's a certain tire called R888s. That's a $500 tire. Dude's putting on this car, killing that same tire same night. Going back for another set of names. Yes, it's crazy right now. But
So the sponsor is a daredevil too.
oh yeah.
All right, that makes sense.
Yeah, but
Okay.
yeah, it adds up. A lot of it adds up.
But the physicality we were getting to with driving, because you're driving at this speed. So I always kind of wondered that, like it's hard to tell in the videos, but are you death gripping the wheel?
No.
No,
So
you're
like
light.
that video that he pulled up, I was in that video too. I was in the M2, and when you drive at 160, 130 for that long, we were probably like going from 160 to about like 120 is like the the lower limit, and we were driving for about 2-3 hours, just going like that. We were like, and that gets your arms really like sore because you're holding the wheel.
Yeah,
I hold it at, and I always just keep it there.
9 and 3 for people listening.
Mm-hmm.
So you're 2 hands on the wheel.
Yeah, especially when I'm going like 160. I'm always having 2 hands on the wheel. There's no reason for you.
That's a nice safety precaution.
Yeah, there's no reason for you to have one hand on the wheel.
Little victories around here. So yeah, because like I guess like handling it, if you have, I like to drive like one hand up. I haven't owned a car since I blew up my ar on the Parkway like 5 years ago, but long story. Yeah, this was a pretty tough day. You hate to see it. Definitely not good. And we will remember this car forever. Yeah.
Yeah,
But like,
nice.
like I'll hold the wheel like this, going like 80.
Yeah.
And that's cool. But if I'm doing 160, it can spin out, right?
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, you don't want to have.
I'm not gonna.
You could be one bump, like that one bump, that one little movement right there. That could be it.
Yeah, at 160, like the slightest change in the
The
steering
one
wheel
slightest little bump
is
could be
like
it.
exacerbated,
Yeah.
like by a large.
But
amount.
that's another reason why like you can't grip this. Like the easiest way to like describe when you're driving at those kinds of speeds and how to keep control is basically like there's a video on there's this guy on the Nürburgring named Misha. He had a guy, a F1 driver, drive a M4. His name is Robert Kubica. And if you watch how he's driving, he holds the steering wheel very lightly because a lot of the inputs, you don't want to put too much input because the car does handle a lot of it. Like gravity keeps the car going straight and tracking it. And then you put in little inputs to turn it left, right, whatever it is. If you grip it and you have a tight grip and you hit a bump, now that grip is you're going to go like this versus you putting in a light input and letting the car handle most of the work. So it's like, I'm not a professional to be like, all right, you got to hold the steering wheel this way. But if you go watch that video, you pay attention to how he's driving and how light and like, just watch F1 drivers in general, how they hold the steering wheel. There's a reason why. Because if you were to grip it up like the whole entire time, one bump, one little change, one little anything, you're just going to overcorrect and do something that should not happen. Like if you watch those videos where even like a regular, like, we call them NPCs, a regular person driving, and like you'll see like something will happen and then like they do like some crazy like overcompensating maneuvers because they're sitting there in the car like this, like driving grip, and oh my god, something's falling, and you feel me? It's versus the guy that was like, had his steering wheel a little, I just had to move over a little bit. Light movements is what you want. You don't want a lot of aggressive movements. But I don't know. You can go look at all the professional drivers and see how they drive and see how they set themselves up in the car to get a better idea of what to do.
Did you like? I think you just talked about like watching some videos on that and stuff. But it's clear listening to all you guys talk, you think about the physics a lot of all this stuff because you have to, right? Like I heard you saying G-force back there, Brad. Like I wasn't a physics major, so we're getting a little above my pay grade. But like what is this stuff like you just learned on YouTube and then practice with, or?
So yeah, I mean, I found out what an apex was, and then I realized that I've been taking the apex the entire time. If that's funny.
Can you define this
so
for
the
people?
an apex is basically like the fastest way to go through a turn, right? And there's braking points and there's like different maneuvers you can use. It's always good practice to brake before the turn and then accelerate out if you're new. But then if you start driving a lot more, there's like a lot more advanced techniques like trail braking, where you actually you brake through the turn and then you let off the brake at the end of the turn, which is like, it's a lot harder to do. And I don't do it. The only time I do that is on the Jackie because I know that road. I've driven on it so many times, just up and down. But yeah, in the Porsche, there's a little G-force meter on the right that tells you how many G's you're carrying in the current moment. And you can go back and read that data and see how smooth that ball moves from the middle to the left and gauge how good of a driver you are. Because if that ball is moving very abruptly instead of very smooth and gradual, it goes to how smooth your driving is.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What 929? What'd you say you drove again? A C?
M4CS.
Do you have that tool in there?
Nah.
I think it does.
You don't.
Wait, does it? I don't
It's
know.
like it's a G-force meter.
I can't remember. I think it has a driver. I don't know.
It might. I'm not sure.
I know my car has it now. I don't know if that has it. I don't know.
But it's measuring your control, effectively.
Yeah, essentially it's measuring the amount of G's you're carrying, and also like I said, it's a ball that moves. So if it's like moving, if you look at the data and it's jumping around, you're not smooth with your inputs. You want the ball to move like gradually up and down as you're going through the turns. It's kind of hard to explain without looking at it visually.
Pretty much what it helps you do is just learn the edge of the grip. Like there's a ball, as you get closer to the edge, like it gets to the edge, basically you're at the edge of the car's grip. So this helps you know how much grip you have. And then of course it moves forward and backwards, so it lets you know how much you're accelerating, how much you're braking. Like it just tells you how much force is in which direction.
How much of this did you guys, as you were learning it coming up, did you test in, say, empty parking lots? You know what I mean? Like to practice.
I mean, I
Just
don't know.
drifts.
Truly, listen, when I first started driving, even though like I was around like reckless people, like my older sister, older brother, all of them would drive like idiots. But when I first started driving, I made sure I knew how to do everything the right way. Like, I was in the middle of the line. Like, I would go to a parking lot, learn how to park perfectly. Like, I did every single thing perfect. Like, when I went to go to driving school, like, I think before I did this in video games first, and then I went to the actual driving. But when I went to driving school, the dude's like, "Yo, how long have you been driving for?" I looked at him like, "What do you mean?"
Since I was 7.
No, it's like, this is like, you're like, outside of the being in the car, I'm off like an hour. He's like, I'm like, this is my first time driving, and I just made sure I just did every single thing perfect. And I did that for like months. And then gradually you would start to, and I think this guy was the same way too. Like eventually you start to speed up, you start to run people on the highway, and then you start following them, and that's what, you start eventually getting better and better.
So we were talking about like how you guys met up at the beginning, like you guys met up years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But these like groups like Swim and then some other, I guess, like underground organizations, you guys will do like literal meetups, like No, you don't. What about that one we were talking about with the guy with the Ram before?
That wasn't like a swim meetup.
So we would meet up in terms of like, hey, you have a car, you got a car. Well, what's up? Like, come on, let's go. Like, we got cars. Come on, let's all those and just come look at our cars. Like, he has a Porsche, he got a BMW. I want to see a Porsche. I want to see a BMW. And that's pretty much all it is. Like, we'll just go, we'll stand up and talk for hours. That's why we're all so close, too. Like, we've had so much dialogue. We'll go sit in a parking lot and go just talk and just relax with each other. Yeah, that's really what it is.
But, like, if you guys are all together and that gets driven up upon by, 3 stripes, I mean, that's enough. That's probable cause there, no? No? It's not enough for them to be able to say, okay, these are 5 makes and models that we've wanted not driving around with plates. It's not.
It's not enough.
I mean, not if we just sit in a parking lot doing nothing, just chilling.
Just chilling.
We do it all the time.
Dressed like this, too.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
maybe not with a ski mask.
We wouldn't do this, But, like, one of my favorite delis is the same delis that the cops go to. And we'll all go park up right in front of them.
And they know who you are.
I think they know who we are. It's just, New York's a big place. They got bigger fish to fry, man. Like, we're big in terms of, like, the car community and everything.
I'd be shaking the cops' hands, man.
Yeah.
Like when I get pulled over, I actually pull over. I'm super respectful, you know.
Yeah.
So wait,
Everyone's
you've
doing
been
their
pulled
job.
over?
Yeah,
Oh,
of course.
yeah.
Of course.
All right, can we get let's start with you 981.
Yeah.
What's the latest pullover story and what went down?
Damn, it's been so long since I got pulled.
It's been like 6 days, man. Fuck.
Nah, nah, like it's like honestly, it really depends on the cop and just how respectful you are, you know. Like at the end of the day, they're human being, you know. We don't hate the cops. Like I understand you got to give me a ticket. I get the ticket, you know.
Are they pulling you over for like on 130 or something like that?
Oh no, if you catch me going 130, I'm not stopping.
Okay, so like this is when you're being pulled over for doing 70.
No, it's not even 70. It's just, bro, they just like you said, cops could inconvenience you if they want, bro. Fucking pull you for having a missing sticker, and you really don't have a missing sticker, but they just pulled you. Just to like, it's like banter, like, you know what I'm saying?
That's what I got pulled over for, actually. Literally.
For like a missing sticker?
Yeah.
And they just gave you a ticket for that and let you go?
Nah, actually.
Nah, that sticker's actually pretty heavy.
All
They-
right.
they-
How so?
I don't know what it is, but they need them cars inspected. They see you don't got that inspection sticker. Whew.
Yeah,
I've been pulled over for that like 2 or 3 times, like because like my dad will forget to get his fucking car inspected, and then I'm driving his car. I'm like, yo, not my fault. But they do give you a ticket, but it's not that bad. It's like $100 in Jersey or something like that.
yeah,
That's in Jersey.
I don't stick around to find out.
Yeah.
He said for people who couldn't hear that, he said, I don't stick around to find out.
I don't know what it is.
But point being, it's not like they're like, oh shit, this is a car we've been looking for, we're arresting you. They give you a ticket and you go.
To be honest, if you get pulled over and they've been looking for you, like let's say it's just because we don't do anything past like traffic violations. If they're trying to find me, let's say even the next day for a traffic violation, it's just gonna be like he's just gonna be a dickhead to you. Like 9 times out of 10, he's just gonna treat you like a piece of shit. He's gonna be a dickhead, and then from there, like they're probably just gonna put a target on your back, hoping they catch you in the act.
Right.
But 9 times out of 10, not much will happen. I mean, as long as everything that you have right there is fully legal, you better make sure that car is registered, insured, your license is valid, everything. You got pulled over for. As long as everything is legit, they can't do nothing to you.
Right.
But they will try and find a way to fuck you over. Like I said, they'll try and inconvenience you. So if you do pull over and you got a plate cover, or you got tins, or you got anything that they could just write you a ticket on, they're going to write you a ticket. Oh, it looked like you didn't have your seatbelt on, seatbelt ticket. They don't care. They just keep on adding it up. And that's just how it is with cops. That's how it's always been. That's what it always has been. So it's nothing like new, you know? But, yeah.
Do you guys drive around without plates most of the time when you're doing this?
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, yeah.
yeah.
100%.
All right, now that's obviously like illegal, but does that affect, because then they still know the make of your car, and then maybe they know who you are. I'm still having trouble getting around.
I got
this.
a couple boys that they haven't pulled over. I mean, they have pulled over and haven't had a plate on their car for like years, and just keep pulling over. I mean,
And they say,
it's gonna be it's either a fix it ticket, or the cost is gonna be like, yo, bro, come on, or it's just gonna be, you know, like I'm pretty sure. And every time you get pulled over, I'm pretty sure they notate it. So.
And this is also because you guys are driving on highways where there's tolls and stuff. So if you're going through like an easy pass with no plates, they can't get you.
Right. Tolls is the easiest way for them to get you, honestly. That's the easiest and fastest.
If you
way.
had your plate on.
If you have a plate on.
If you don't, then
Yeah, they got cameras all over the city that will ping your plate a bunch of times. So if they really wanted to track you, they could. So like
Yeah, they can.
the way NYPD works, I would say they like operate like a gang. It's like they kind of let you rock until the day they're like, yeah, we're not okay with this guy anymore. We're bringing him in.
are you worried about that day?
If the day comes, I atone for my sins, you know. I already made peace with that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
What do you mean made peace with that?
Like, look, if they're gonna charge me with traffic violations and a whole bunch of stuff, right? Like, I know myself. I know I'm not in the life of crime, like trying to like, like I just speed. So it's like if you're gonna bring that to me and then charge me, then I'm gonna accept it. I am speeding. I was speeding. Allegedly.
I see what you're saying now.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So you don't. So there's actually a good question. You don't view yourself as a criminal. You view yourself as a daredevil.
I mean, I guess. Legally speaking, I'm a criminal. I break the law. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like technically, every one of you in here doing this is a criminal.
Yeah.
Still a criminal.
Yeah, bro. I guess I'm a criminal daredevil then. So.
Yeah, but you don't view yourself as the criminal of like someone who goes and assaults somebody.
Yeah, when I take this mask off,
not a violent criminal.
Yeah, I talk to rich people all day and just help them with their money, man.
I won't go beyond that.
Yeah, let's just leave it.
We'll leave that. We'll leave that.
You know what we attribute it to?
What's that?
I don't know if you know about this, but back in the 90s, they had something like the Midnight Club. And they were all just a bunch of guys with some nice cars that would just go out and drive. That's all it really was. They came together. They called it Midnight Club. That was it.
They just go on the highways. Did they have like an in with law enforcement? I know sometimes there's been issues with like.
Nah, so in Japan back then,
their cars were fast.
Yeah,
this is like Midnight Club was in Japan, so like there's some I can't remember some names, but like there's some like influential characters that came out of that scene, but they would just have really cool fast cars. Like literally, we're honestly the modern day Midnight Club right now. Like
the guy that they say he ran it, his name's Smokey Nagata. He put a V12 in a Supra.
He wasn't the one that ran it.
No, but he was like in the scene, I guess. Yeah, so he basically he built cars that could touch like almost 200 miles an hour in the 90s.
No, they did touch.
They in the 90s, right? So it's like these are people that had money, and the way he has a shop that called Top Secret, and now Top Secret, this like in this present day and age, still pushes out cool race car builds, right? And like that's what he's made from. And his story is crazy because he used to work at a shop, and they realized he was super good at what he did, and they let him use the shop at night, but they told him to keep it a secret, that because they didn't want people to know that he's using the company shop at night for his own personal needs. So that's why when he left and made his own shop, he called it Top Secret. So I guess like I wouldn't say I took inspiration from that, but if you were to compare the stories, they are very similar.
Gotcha. So like you're the guy who built the team as it is now, but there's a lot of, as we've been saying in this whole conversation, there's a lot of other people who do this in New York who just aren't a part of swim. So how do you decide who gets to be a part of swim?
Swim is not who's a part of swim is not about if you're a driver or not.
What
it doesn't determine, like, it's not if you have a car. It's not about any of that.
What's it about?
It's like, honestly, it's not even like, there's like a whole kind of like family behind it. That's really all it is. Yeah. Like I said, like I get DMs every day or messages every single day. How do I join swim? I want to join swim.
Yeah, there's people like, what
from
are you
the
guys
first time I seen
tryouts?
that message, it was like, I don't even know how I myself, outside looking in or inside looking out, whatever it is, I don't even know how I would join swim. There is no joining swim. There isn't. Like, we all were together from before, and then we all just started, like, it's like you got your friend group with your bunch of guys, and then, like, you guys have, like, your own, like, insider kind of, let's say, an insider joke, and, like, you all know what it is, and that's just what it is. Like, you know what the joke is. If you don't know what it is, you don't know what it is.
Right, but there's a day there where you're like, all right, we got swim.
There was a day where it was like, we already know like, you know what it is. We know what swim is, but the day that we all were like, all right, we're just gonna start calling this swim, calling that swim, it just happened. Like, we just all were together as like a family. We all had like a group chat called like Swim. We called ourselves like the swim team in the group chat, like the name of the IG group chat or whatever it was. And then that's all this evolved into. Like if you're in the group chat, you're a swim. And that's really all it was. It was like, honestly, it wasn't like I never went to him like, hey, do you want to join swim? Never went to him like, hey, do you want to join swim? Yeah. It's like, you're here, you're part of the brotherhood.
They were all just basically like pull up, like just like,
and then one day you had a sweatshirt, and the rest was history.
yeah, basically, yeah.
There really was no join. There is no like gang. You get jumped in.
I feel like people look at it as like a COD clan. Like you remember back in the day, like people used to make COD clans and like, hey, I want to join that. Like this is not like a gang or a clan. Like it's literally just like family. Like let's say for example, like if we never met bro right here and Float knows him, you know what I'm saying, and he just decides to hang out with us one day and he keeps hanging out and decides to end up driving with us. Eventually, like it's just more so like
becomes a thing.
Yeah. That's basically what it is.
So do you guys like, do you feel, you keep using the word family and it comes across that way too, like genuinely, do you feel like you guys have a connection because of what you do, and like no disrespect to your own families, but like people in your lives don't understand that, so there's no outlet there?
Yeah, it could be that.
Yeah, honestly, like another thing is like, I'm surprised you guys don't talk about this, but bro, the reason why we're friends is because we all drive well with each other. It's easy to drive well alone, but having to account for 2 or 3 more people that's also doing the same thing as you, it's a lot harder. And you need to be able to like read what they're doing and read what traffic's doing, so you don't rear end your fan, your friend,
And you guys, but again, it's like, and I think Tommy brought this up in the documentary, there's like an adrenaline rush that especially like a lot of dudes, we all have and we all live for. It's been throughout human history. But there's a huge difference, like to people like me and Tom, when we look at guys who get in a UFC octagon where they both agree, like they're both a part of it, right? And actually, this is a totally different example, but even to me, like there's a huge difference when a mobster kills a mobster versus like when a guy kills his wife or something, right? The mobster, it's wrong to be clear, but like they know what they signed up for. You know what I mean?
He was in the life.
Right. Whereas you guys, yes, you're doing it for yourselves, but you're doing it in public places where other people don't have the right to say like I want in or I want out. It's just anyone else who's in society, and you're putting them at risk. Is that do you have a fear of that going wrong?
Yeah, of course.
Wait, what was that? Calculated?
It's like you calculate for all of that, like when you're driving. It's so sad to say, but like you account for people. Like,
yeah, he's off my, but he doesn't have sunglasses, so yeah. Just say it. Go ahead. Yeah.
Like even when you would be driving together, you would calculate for everyone with you and take into account for too the traffic that's there. Like we're never gonna just blindly go throw the car there without knowing, or like you could say guessing what might happen in that outcome. You could say like that will be going through your mind a lot when you're driving. Like it's not just one scenario. Like if I take this left to that right to that left, like how does everybody else behind me come through that? Okay. Like that's something that you have to judge also when you're leading. Because you can't just take a cut that you by yourself could fit if you're traveling with 5 other people behind you. So that's something else that you have to take into account when you're leading. So sometimes it's harder, but still, as long as you calculate it to how much you can, like
to how much you can,
like to you personally, how much you can. That's why.
And also, it's like having road vision as well. Like there's something called there's something called a 3-lane. So a 3-lane is basically when you cross over 3 lanes, right? So if you're going,
it's a Jersey slide.
Yeah, here in Jersey, it's the Jersey slide.
You're gonna get it right in my fucking state.
Yeah. So when you Jersey slide and you go from the left lane all the way to the right,
Yeah.
if there's a car in the middle, it's blocking your vision, and there might be a car waiting for you all the way in the right lane. So as you're coming, like you're going from left to right really fast, because of that car in the middle, you couldn't see the car that's slow in the right lane.
Right.
And you, as a driver, you need to understand that that is a bad move. Like the chances of like success on that is probably pretty slim, and you got to do all this like in the moment. I'm trying to put everything into words here. It's like if I see him take that and I know I don't see what's on the other side, if I see a semi in the middle and I don't know what's on the other side of the semi, I'm not passing a semi on the right side. I've seen enough videos online, and like, you know how the semi just starts moving and then you're there and he doesn't really see you, especially me, the car's so small. It's like I've had a near miss too of like, actually, what was that video?
Your 9 Lives fucking video.
No, it wasn't that one. It was, remember the truck that
I
almost
think that
killed
was
me?
one of the another. Like,
Okay, you can pull up.
let's pull it up.
Yeah, on Wheres981.
that one's actually one of the most popular, I think.
Go to videos. Damn. What was the title of that? I think. Yeah, just scroll down. Scroll down a little bit more. A little bit more. Or somebody actually crashed trying to swim with us.
Oh, someone just popped in who you don't know.
You could actually look at that video too if you wanted to.
Yeah, the cat logo kills me. Is that like, that's not your cat, right?
No,
a
it's
random
not
cat.
like that.
It's the state.
Oh, if you go down a little bit more. Hold on, what was that? What was the title of that video? Wait, if you scroll up.
I think it's on Phil's page, huh?
Nah, it was on my page. Because you see the Crater video where it says Crater right there on the thumbnail? It was around that time. I just don't remember the title.
And it shows you almost hitting a truck.
No, the truck almost killed me.
How often do you have a close call?
Man, every once in a while.
Wait, pull that in for Brad.
He said every day.
Brad wants to pop in here.
I drive every day, so I have a close call every day. Like hopping on the highway, it's like it's always that 1 gram.
Oh, you were talking about tunnels. Sorry to cut you off.
Nah,
That's the
you're good,
battery tunnel right there if you click on that video. I'm going to try
Which
to
one?
remember. In the meantime, the battery tunnel, going 130 in the battery tunnel.
I don't.
It's right next to Phantom Stage.
Oh yeah. Third one top. Yeah, there it is. This is is this battery tunnel? Is that Brooklyn?
Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
goes from Manhattan to Brooklyn.
So you're going 130 here
Yeah.
in a one laner with those fucking
Yeah, with the cars coming towards me.
with the
the
things in
thingamajiggy.
those cone things in the middle. I shit myself going like 60 around those.
Look, it literally looks like a spaceship. This is one of the few videos where you can actually judge the speed because of the things that's around you. So you have a point of reference.
Now this is actually the first video I'm watching today.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not going to condone it,
Mm-hmm.
but you are on you were on an empty road there with no cars in front of you.
Yeah, but
and
there's
you
cars
then
on
you
the
could
left lane coming
Right.
towards me. So if I messed up on my side, I could have crossed.
Now that's true.
A very
See, I was trying to throw you a bone, but we weren't there.
Nah. I'm always gonna be realistic with you, man.
I appreciate that. It's just it like amazing, and
Mhm.
you just gotta understand this. Like, it amazes me how self-aware, and then also at the same time technically not self-aware you guys are on this. That's how it comes across to me. Because like, you know what you're doing,
Mhm.
but it's like, yeah, I'm gonna do it again.
It's fun, bro.
Yeah.
I just don't know how else to put it. It's
Personally,
like
not to cut you. I wake
Yeah.
up every day. I don't wake up and say, "Yo, how do I total out this family of 4 right now?" You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
I
I
hope
don't
you
just
don't
wake
wake
up
up
and
and
just
say
think
that.
like, "All right, crash out." No, it's like I wake up. All right, I woke up a little bit late. I gotta get to work. I work 40 minutes away from home. It is 20 minutes until I'm late. I'm on my final strike. I gotta get there. You know what I'm saying? I gotta keep making money. So I'm gonna see that gap, and I'm gonna just keep going. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going. It's like I'm not here to hurt anybody. I'm just trying to get to where I need to go. I don't want to say it like people are in the way, everybody's entitled to be on the road. You know, if you have if you have a license, you have a privilege to drive. But it's like,
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna let you
Yeah,
finish.
Pullman.
One thing to add on to that.
Hold on, I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce put out the best video of all time. All
fuck
time.
this guy, like, right?
Well, like the other part about it is like, yo, I want to get there faster, but this is a part of the calculated risk. If anything bad happens, I'm not gonna get there faster at all. So I have to go as fast as I possibly can to not fuck up to where me trying to go faster doesn't fuck up the whole scenario.
Right.
Because that one little minute I probably could have saved just turned into
I just made 50 people late for work.
Yeah, you know?
So it's
Made
like,
50 people and a few ambulances.
And that's where the limit is.
Yeah.
So it's like, I didn't really, as I said, I
Bro,
didn't come
you
outside
know-
to hurt nobody.
You've ever seen someone fly past you and then they get into an accident and everyone they fluke and cut off is just honking at them? And it's like got to be one of the shameful experiences of all time, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Just sitting on the side of the road knowing that you messed up, bro.
But the shame's a lot better than if it was a ball of fire and a lot of people died.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
That's
You know what I
all,
think is shameful right now in the community?
What's that? Turn the mic towards
I
you.
personally frown upon this is like right now, this community, like, I don't want to say, they see what we do, right? And they admire it and they try to, replicate it. What I don't like is like, nowadays, the new in thing is like, you're my friend. We both got nice cars. Let's go outside for a drive. Let's go get some food. Something as simple as that. Why the hell is it that this dude in front of me is trying to like outshine me and trying to make me Mac? Like, all right, so now it's like there's a 2-car space right here on the right side, but there's a half a car space right here, and we're moving at 140, and you want to take the tighter cut, and me now following behind you. I don't exactly have all the time in the world to react at 140. I have to adjust in that moment. I can't go left.
Yeah, pull him back.
You speaking cutting these.
Cutting you.
Well, I missed
Yo,
that.
bro, like, you know it's a pandemic out here, bro. Like, people really try to make people crash out here as a joke.
Like speaking swimming knees.
Swimming knees?
Yeah.
Swimming knees, cutting knees.
The terminology that he's using, unless you're like macking and all that stuff. Unless you're like in the whole like scene, I'm gonna know what he's really like talking about.
Yeah,
Right.
but like for those that's listening, you know,
Yeah, there's
like,
some I'm letting
y'all try to
it
make
go over
people
my
crash.
head today.
Y'all love seeing y'all boy in a ball of fire. It's crazy, and it's like my boy really put 30K into that car, and I just want to see you fuck up. That's it. And it's like when you fuck up, damn, bro, I'm so sorry. Let's go
L
get that
chat.
food though.
L
yeah,
chat.
L's in the chat. Okay, yeah, let's you're back to the drawing board, but the next day I'm going back to my regular life. You know what it's like? So that's why it's like it's a family, it's a brotherhood, it's chemistry. You know what I'm saying? It's like it goes deeper than what the surface sees. Like I know how he drives, so it's like there's a video of me and him, right? It's me, him, and Bree, and we're outside, and it's like. He does the semi-truck thing. Like, he goes in between a whole car and a semi-truck, and he just waits and lines it up and just takes it. But it's like, I knew he was going to do that. I could have went behind him, but what if that truck veers over?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or I know that he's the type, if he gets in an emergency situation, by all means, save yourself. You know what I'm saying? And that's the honest-to-God reality that a lot of people don't understand nowadays, too. It's like, I don't want bro to crash out because we were both doing dumb shit. If it's like, I gotta go, I gotta go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I know how he drives, so I can expect that, all right, he's about to take a left, right, left, right, left, do a whole spin around on the highway and then do a Mario Kart flip onto the shoulder and back onto the highway. And I gotta follow him through that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I know bro is like that. I know that I have to be 10 toes. And it's like, every day you run into randoms. And as he said before, when you run into those randoms, as time goes on, you really put yourself in different scenarios so you learn things. And sometimes you really have to go through the ringer and learn things the hard way. So there's been mishaps, you know what I'm saying? Expensive mishaps. You learn from it and you bounce back from it.
Another
you know what I'm saying?
40K, 50K, learn from it, bounce back.
The name is bread. Sometimes.
Yeah, I have a
it's-
heart attack like when $1,000 piece of equipment has an issue.
Also,
Nah,
we,
yeah, of course.
we also move like as a group. Like, there's a video of where Bree blocked the cop in so me and Float could get a head start.
Wait.
For you.
Yeah, I know it's for me, but hold it, just say.
By the way,
I
when
had
you
a-
when you keep saying Bree, are you referring to bread?
No,
there's
Bree,
Bree in there.
he's not here right now.
Okay,
He wasn't
all right.
feeling well.
I was getting confused because
Yeah,
you were.
that's
I'm like,
bread.
is he talking in third
Nah,
person?
I'm ready.
What the fuck?
That's pretty cute. Yeah.
Okay, so there was a situation where he got the cop away.
What was the video name?
Oh, which one? With
Of,
you and all.
yeah, of where he blocked him. You want to go to his channel, Bree Q50?
Wait, how do you spell it?
Bree, so BRI, and then 50.
Bree Q50. And did he get away from the cop?
Of course.
That would have been a hell of an ending to the video.
We
Give
met
him
at
a
the gas station
subscribe.
and shook his hand.
While we're at it.
Oh, he's about to be at 100.
Oh,
right.
Congrats, bro.
92.5.
Congrats.
All right, do we know what the video is called?
yo, what was that video called?
Is it most popular? The craziest police
Oh, right there,
chase?
swim team outmaneuvering cop.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, very.
Okay.
But hold on. I think
Oh,
you
look,
could
the
jump ahead a
disclaimer.
little bit.
All right. Everything displayed in this video, high graphic renders, simulate, mimic. Nothing you are watching is real and should never be attempted in real life. I believe you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
That means a lot.
All right. So who's driving?
It's
Here.
Bree that's float behind, and then behind float is me.
Oh wait, because we have the rear cam down
Yeah,
below.
that's a rear cam.
So
right there.
float is right behind.
Mhm,
and then you're
that's-
the third
yeah,
one.
Pretty much.
And what time of night is this? Like 9, 10 o'clock?
Damn, I don't even know. What time would you say this
The
is?
the road's somewhat full. All right, so now he starts making a move. I'm watching the rear cam there down below.
Yeah, and everybody's just following suit.
See how tight that is, though. Like, because gaps close
Yeah.
from car 1 to car 3.
That's why being the third car is always the hardest.
Yeah, look at that. Like you just got stuck back there. So you're behind that. Now you're coming through. Like, god damn.
And sometimes, like, you see how that's an M4 up ahead? Like, sometimes he would start trying to swim with us, too. And then we might just make a new friend on the road.
Do you ever like pull over at the end? Like, hey man.
I mean, yeah, depending on how well they drove, I was like, yo, what do you do, bro? What do you do for a living, man?
I just keep thinking like Vin Diesel, like, join the team, bro.
Nah,
For family.
For
for
family.
family.
It's like getting his fucking neck sucked by Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah.
So now you're laying back because you got to let them catch up, essentially. How much far is there? Like a can we see the?
Even like the cop breathing?
Yeah, where's the
It's
peak?
it's right here. I
Right here.
believe it's, yeah, right here.
Oh shit! So you go up behind the cop.
Yeah, so look, so everyone moves over. Look, go back a little bit. Because no one communicated. Like, we didn't say anything. We weren't on the phone, right? As soon as he turned his lights on and we realized,
That's a cop right there.
yeah.
You can tell sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
they'll be in a 2024 Honda Accord right next to you. You don't even know.
So now, but he's in front of you. That's a bad place to be. So he's like trying to think like, oh, do I break him out? Now, do you in these situations at this point, this has happened so much, does your heart rate get jacked, or are you just like another day at the office?
Not really. Yeah, it's pretty much like another day at the office.
You just gotta take a deep breath and just think.
Yeah.
You can't get too overworked.
Yeah,
When you start
and
to
also-
panic, you make mistakes.
Also, you can't feel like you're on top of the world, you know? You can't feel like nothing is going to go wrong.
And he only knows that
He thinks
that
it's just
this
him.
is Bree right now. He doesn't know that Float and you are back there.
Yeah.
So he's just, but I would imagine he's probably like on his radio, like, what the fuck do I do?
No.
No?
Okay, so this
Well,
is where
now,
everybody sees
now
that.
he's
It's
like, I made a miscalculation.
yeah, but look, so now everyone moves over to the right,
See
and
how
then look. I just shoot up to the front. There we go, and now everyone comes back in,
The power of friendship.
and then block.
he's right on your ass right now.
Yeah, but there's no plate on the car, and he's blocking them right now, so everyone's going.
Oh, you're getting them off to the right.
Yeah, this is Bree right now. That's blocking the.
Bree's blocking, and everyone else is getting off to the right, and now he goes. And you guys are up in front now.
Yep, pretty much.
I didn't even see you guys get up in front. It was that fast, and he's gone.
Yep, and now
It's over.
And now we're going.
Holy shit, man!
This is so beautiful.
We ran a play. Beautiful play on
There's
college.
people at home calling the cops right now. Like, they may be recording this podcast right now. Get out to Hoboken. It's not
Yo,
live.
that's a yo. Everybody was in Hoboken with swim hoodies on. It's like, oh man.
They were in Hoboken with swim hood. Oh, you guys
just-
were walking up to that.
Mm-hmm.
No one saw. See how quick that is, though. Like you almost just nailed each other right there. Brad,
No,
can
but
you
we
pull the
got-
mic back in real quick? Because you had said you had said a few minutes ago, and we got off at because you drive every day.
Yeah,
You have a close call like every day.
almost every day.
So I'm
yeah.
just doing math in my head of laws of probability because
Right.
you've been driving since you were 13. Let's say you started having close calls when you were 18. Give you the
Right.
benefit of the doubt. I'm not going to say how old you are now, but it's been a while.
Right, yeah. It's
How
been,
the fuck are you alive?
what don't
By
kill
the
you
grace
make
of
you
God,
stronger.
man.
What does not kill you makes you stronger. You ever had an airbag deploy right on your head?
No. I've had an airbag come into me, but not in my
I'm
head.
talking about have you like had your head on the airbag
No.
and it deployed? Oh, don't. Concussions are nasty.
People say the smell of airbags is like the
Yeah.
worst.
I'm immune to that airbag smoke. It doesn't burn me anymore. I wouldn't say like I'm a crash dummy. I've been in accidents with friends. Don't look at me like that. I've been in flips with my bro. He done flipped the Benz and whatnot. Like,
But what happened? Because like if you're and you don't get arrested after that?
I mean, in certain cases, a lot of driving, I wasn't really like driving in a lot of accidents. Like I probably had like 2 accidents in my entire life
That you were driving.
that I was driving. Yeah. Other than that, I've been like passenger. Like when my boy flipped, as I said, my boy flipped his Benz one time, and that was pretty traumatic.
Doing dangerous shit.
It wasn't as dangerous in a moment like compared to what we do now. It was just a moment of blindsidedness kind of thing, and we just merged out into a highway, got clocked by like a car. Yeah,
And you survived.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. So
But like the cops come up on the scene
yeah,
on that
but, like,
and they go,
it-
what were
at
you
that
doing?
time, it's not like we were on nothing. Things weren't swim. That was just regular old bread. Yeah.
Do you still get that, like when you're having a close call, that sinking feeling like down here heading towards your balls where you're like, ooh.
No, not necessarily, because it's like I'm at the point where when I'm driving, in like every given moment, I'm trying to think out 30 different scenarios of how this can go if 1 or 2 things happen. So that's how I like always try to sit there and think. But other than that, I feel like I really get that feeling more so when I go out with the bros, because it's like, yo, I'm excited. Like, yo, what are we about to do? Like, oh man, I'm following this guy. What is he about to do? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's that type of like excitement.
Yeah, I
just
had
to-
asked Float earlier if he still had that same rush from when he was younger. He said, no, not quite.
Yeah.
Sounds like you still have it.
I mean, I don't, but I do. Like,
do not.
as far as like, oh my God, I gotta get in that car and I gotta go make that drive. I gotta go make the tightest. Nah, I'm not there no more. I'm just at the point where it's like, honestly, if I don't have to burn gas today, I will lay in bed all day.
Right, but when you actually get out there and you're in a moment, like suddenly, all right, now you're at $140.
Yeah,
And
it's
now
like
you weave.
it's like at a given moment, it's like, all right,
It's
I might
there.
be chilling. This one guy, I hear this one guy just fly past me, and it's like, I could really let you rock today, but you caught me, so I'm gonna let you learn today. So let's go, and then it just happens. You know what I'm saying? And you start to have fun, and yeah, in any given moment, you might just hit 140, 150.
Have you guys known fellow drivers, not necessarily people that are in swim, but guys who do what you do, who have crashed and killed themselves and or other people?
I only know one person that died from an accident, really and truly. He was wearing a seatbelt, really, but what happened was it was a blind side once again, but his head hit the glass, and I guess internal bleeding. It was pretty tragic. It's not like he was driving or anything. He was a passenger. They were coming from a party. He just didn't show up to work for the next 2 days. And then the news hit. Yep.
But you guys have only had close calls as swim. You guys haven't had crashes since you've been swim?
No.
I don't want to like encourage it, but that's like unbelievable. Can we pull the mic over there? Yeah.
Nah, it's crazy to think about, but we really have cars to prove it. Like, I have multiple cars to prove that. I've been doing this for a little minute, and I have all my cars here to show you. Like, you don't have to crash to learn how to drive.
It's just such a different world because, like, you guys just drive.
Yeah.
You're not drug runners.
No.
You're not.
At one point, I actually had a job as a medical courier, but I got fired for making the deliveries too fast. I swear, yeah, bro. Like
Medical courier, is that a that sounds like a nice way of saying I was a drug dealer.
No, I was actually transporting like bags of blood, and like it's for medical companies.
And you made deliveries too fast.
Yeah.
They fired you for that. They're like,
how
how did you get from Tampa Bay to fucking Georgia in an hour? Don't worry about it.
Much. It's just they said like, it was company liability, so like I can't be doing that no more.
DOT gonna get you.
That's unbelievable. Cause like you got like you're saying, you guys still have lives outside this. This is like a side hobby.
Yeah, like, I can't get my license into trouble because of my job. Like, I really can't. Like, if I lose my license, I lose my job. Like, so I can't get caught doing some of these things. You feel me?
Right. But it's a risk.
It is a risk, but it's like at the end, it's not that big of a risk at certain times. Like, because one, we're driving cars that the cops, like, respectfully, some of them can't keep up. Like, it's too fast. And just the skill that comes with it. Like, we learned how to do this to not to get away from the cops, but just to drive. You feel me? Like, I don't. Like, I'm one of the guys that I don't drive for the footage. Like, you can ask any of them. I drive just for the fun of driving. Like, I just like driving. Like, we'll go out for a drive. Yo, let's go. Right. Like, I don't care about the camera being there or not. Like, I care less about the camera at times. Like, you can ask
you do it for the love of the game.
Yeah, I do it for the love of the game, you could say. Like, I just like driving. Like, that's why I drive.
Do you guys have, like, stash houses to be able to get to? Like, if you need to, if you're in a bind, like, do you have places where you're like, okay, I can go off the map right now because
Man, if I'm in a bind, I'm parking my car and taking the subway home.
The safest thing to do.
Wait, let's get the mic over. Sorry.
The safest thing to do. Let's say you really like got hot, like you just ran from the cops, and like it's bad. You know it's bad, and it's like, let's say it's like, I don't know, you're in like a secluded area where it's like you gotta cross a bridge to leave or something. Listen, do not go cross that bridge. Don't go cross that bridge. Go find somewhere to park your car.
You're asleep.
Fuck the car, bro. Even listen, just go park it. It doesn't find a public street somewhere you can publicly park and not get it towed. Hopefully, but fuck the car, bro. Don't go drive across the bridge because you're probably gonna get caught. They're looking for you. Go park the car, let the car cool off, and then go get it the next day, 2 days, whatever it is, and then go home from there. If you gotta take an Uber to go home, if you gotta even walk, it's not worth it, bro. Yeah. It's not worth it.
But again, because you're doing it all in New York effectively, so it doesn't like.
It's so many places to hide.
Right, but you're also keeping it in state.
Yes.
Like when you guys are working in the team, so it doesn't become a federal issue where then it would be totally out of control.
I even think even if we did go cross states, I don't think there's like a federal driving charge. They don't.
Is there a federal driving charge?
They don't regulate anything in terms of driving violations.
I don't
Traffic
know.
violations, there's nothing for
I mean,
feds.
the max they can hit you with if you are running is like what, felony eluding?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's a state charge. There's no felony charge at all.
So when they
I mean, federal charge.
on the separate issue, when they arrested Squeeze, they arrested him for stuff that wasn't driving, right? So allegedly. Well, I mean that's public info. You guys could say, but like that's at least what they said. They are alleging he did other things
Yeah.
that was not driving. So it was, you're saying like effectively only because they then, once they had him in custody for other stuff, knew who he was. That's why they could brag and say, oh, we've taken this guy off the road. But if it had just been something where, you know, they came upon him and he hadn't committed other crimes, they wouldn't have even been able to arrest him.
Probably.
Probably.
I mean, they probably still could have arrested him for something. Like I said, they'll still try.
Yeah.
Bullet stick, I don't know. But they probably still might arrest you. Just to at least they like to process people. So that's the easiest, fastest way to get a target on your back. Even if the arrest isn't legitimate, they'll still process you.
Yeah.
So that means they have your fingerprints, your name, your address, everything. And they'll know where to find you. That's all they want is a tab. They just want to keep a tab on you.
Right.
And that's it.
Can you talk about that thing you were talking about before camera with your close call? You know what I'm talking about?
Nah, they
You
did
don't-
that.
You don't want to talk about that one.
They definitely keep a tab on me with that one.
That
I
one
think
was funny.
they probably keep a tab on this guy. I know they probably keep a tab on me. Like I'm pretty confident NYPD knows who I am. I'm not doing anything to bother them. I don't harass them. I don't even think I've ever uploaded a video of me ever running for NYPD. So it's like I don't do anything to bother them. I'll bring their tongue for you.
I feel like they're gonna get more pissed. Like when they say, I know that one Squeeze Benz video where he like fucking points at them and laughs at them. And
Shit like that.
you can't do that.
Yeah, that'll get.
You're actively like, bro. Just think about it. If you're a cop, you got this guy taunting you, or
Yeah.
even if you don't even know the cop that he's taunting, but your fellow cop is like, all right, buddy, you think you're tough? I'm gonna use if I'm a cop, I'm gonna use every single tool I got. I know that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find you, even if it takes a year. They got time. That's what do they call it? I think it's like it's like some kind of prey method, like the Cobra method or something like that. They'll take their time and they'll squeeze you like how a snake wraps you up, and they constrict you, and at some point you die. Even though it's slow, it's a slow death, but they will tighten down. They do it very slow, so that's what. Yeah.
Yeah, even right now, they're trying to make it harder with them
Yeah.
cops that they got, the CRT unit.
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
It's getting hard out here.
Yeah.
When we watched the Fast and Furious movies, like those were some of my favorite movies growing up. Right? These guys, the main characters in there are, by the letter of the law, criminals because they're doing illegal driving and stuff, but they're the heroes. Right? Like that's how we look at them and everything. Do you guys look at yourselves as the good guys or the bad guys?
I look at myself as
Wait, pull that in. Sorry.
I look at myself as Batman. I'm the vigilante. I feel like what I'm doing is good, but to others it's frowned upon.
Do you help anybody though?
I get people to work faster.
To go off that, like if you there's a book called I don't know if it was in this book. I think it was in this book. I think it was it's called The Light Switch. And basically it's like an FBI negotiator. And he just goes on and talks about how certain people have like different behaviors. And one of the things about humans is humans are naturally irrational. If you think like the story that he used in the book was basically the story of Al Capone. If you go ask Al Capone, he felt like he was for the community. He was doing all the right stuff. He was justified in everything. him killing somebody, that he didn't even feel like it was a crime.
Right.
But that was in his head. Outside eyes looking in, it's always going to be a different perspective. Most things is like what is that statement? Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Like,
That's right.
most things is from that person's point of view, that person's experience. Like, to us, obviously, we're always going to we downplay certain situations. But to somebody else, there are people that want to kill us, you know? Like, there are people that, like, if they ever came across us on the road, they have a gun in the car, they'll probably shoot at us.
Why?
Because they feel like we're that much of a threat to them. Yeah.
Like other drivers?
Yes,
it
there are
gets them
some
mad.
people out there that will honestly, like...
It gets them mad. Like, when we
Yeah.
come through and, like, I don't know if it's because they're sitting there in traffic and we're figuring out how to get through it as fast as possible. I don't know if they get mad or what it is, but they will do spiteful things to put you and them in harm.
Honestly, it's not
sometimes.
even like we're running into that, though. It's just, I know that in other parts of America, this probably wouldn't fly. Thank God we're in New York. But, like, I'm pretty sure if we were down south and, like, if we were, like, in West Virginia or something, and we were doing, like, some of the maneuvers that we're doing, and we came across, you know, that one guy in that one pickup truck with that one thing in the back, I don't think it's going to be pretty.
The wrong flag.
You know? I don't think it's going to end up pretty, so, like, it definitely is in the eye of the beholder, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, there's some people, some kids, some guys, that be like, oh my God, like, I love this. Like, and it's not even just young people, it's old people too. Like, oh, I was doing the same thing when I was your age. I was doing this, I was doing that. I love that you guys are doing this. And then you have the other people, the fuck are you doing? Like, like, that's literally how it sounds when we pass people. I'm pretty sure when we pass some of those NPCs, you're gonna hear stuff like that. So, I don't know. The perspective is all subjective.
Here's you bring up the Al Capone thing, and that's interesting. And we could play that on any bad world leader ever. Fucking Hitler thought he was the good guy too.
Same thing. Hitler, all these great people they think they're great, but they're fucking murderers, like Stalin and people like that. Yeah.
They rationalize it to themselves, right?
And humans are irrational.
Right.
That's what it always comes down to.
Now here's the difference, and you know, it's not to make something like this seem more serious than it is. It's a fucking podcast. It's not a big deal. But we're sitting around here, not in cars right now. I'm an outsider talking with you, getting into the psychology. It's in some ways slightly a therapy session in this way, just for like, you know, like getting in your head of like what makes you tick with things like this. And you're forced to like step outside of what you do and answer difficult questions, sometimes brutally honestly, which I do appreciate, you know, where you're judging your own actions and you're aware then that those actions are that and that they're wrong. And yet you're going to walk outside this door and you're going to get in the car and you're going to go 160. So it's like, I wonder if I had gotten Al Capone in here at his height, if he would have understood that like his killing was wrong while he was in here and would have walked out and still done it. The difference is I don't think he would have understood that in here, but you guys do, because you're not Al Capone.
Right.
Yeah, that's a compliment. Like you're
Yeah.
low bar, but you know,
Yeah.
like you're not certifiable, but you have some sort of screw loose to be able to still go do this and rationalize it, despite the fact you know you're rationalizing it. You're self-aware of that.
100%. Honestly, I feel like at some point there might be like studies on this. This is probably definitely something that the psychotherapists or psychologists, psychiatrists, whoever does those kind of studies, they'd probably have a heyday on something like this, you know?
Yeah, I can think of a few people.
I'm pretty sure they've done studies on other daredevils, but it's always going to be an interesting result. Like, I don't know. The only thing that I could say, it really just comes down to humans are irrational. I'm human, he's human, they're human. It's hard to justify a lot of our actions.
Right. A good friend of mine who's been on the show a bunch, he's reformed. But this guy, Matt Cox, I call him the G-Foat. He was the greatest fraudster of all time. So, and you're like, Becky, we are now social workers.
No, we now work for the Salvation Army. I made a badge. You know, it's really funny. I made a badge using the picture on my social security, using the picture on my wanted poster. I used that picture on my on my Salvation Army badge. The badge said that I was a statistical surveyor.
He, over like a 6-year period out of nowhere, guy was 30 years old. He had never committed a crime in his life, didn't even drink, right? And then he was struggling financially. He was working as a mortgage broker, and his boss whited out, something illegally on a page and said, all right, you're good. Yeah, we can pass this mortgage. And then he just took that and eventually was like making fake Salvation Army cards and going to homeless people and stealing their identities. Like, he took it quite a far way. But, he's self-aware of these facts afterwards now. And, like, he went to prison for a very long time, got out, and he knows, like, he's, in his case, he's a megalomaniacal narcissist. He's well aware of, like, that diagnosis. So there is a level of self-awareness there. And one of the things he says is that when it comes to committing a crime, everybody has a threshold. And he's like, here's what I mean. If you're a mother and you have an infant and you have no money and you're homeless, you're going to steal some fucking bread. And he's like, I would actually defend the mom who did that to feed her kid, but that's a crime, right? He goes, what I realized about myself after the fact when I was sitting in prison is that my threshold is very, very low. Do you think you guys have a lower threshold technically because of what you do?
For the category for that threshold, yeah, it's definitely way lower. Yeah. Like, if you compare it to, like, I'm not about to go sell no drugs.
Right.
I can't scam. I'm not a scammer. I don't know. I'm definitely not about to go and kill somebody,
But what if you do? Like, you haven't, but what if you do?
This is that's the difference. Involuntary, I don't even want to open up that can of worms. But what I will say, I'm not about to sit here and walk out and go point a gun at somebody and go pull a trigger. Like, if I see you walking down the street, I'm not gonna actively go and try and kill you. That's my threshold.
You're not gonna actively do it, and I believe you.
And every time I go on the road, it's involuntary, but
you voluntarily go on the road.
Exactly, 100%.
So how's it involuntary?
But now this is the other point that a lot of people are going to probably justify with this, but there's no difference between, like, truly, like I said, even at 70 miles an hour, it's still a big problem. You get me? So when everybody goes out on the road, we all voluntarily sign up for the fact that we can get an accident. Something can happen. Honestly, we voluntarily sign up that somebody could fucking bust in here right now and come start shooting at us.
Right.
By living on Earth, you're voluntarily signing up.
But it's probabilities.
And probabilities do come into play.
Right. Because if I'm going 70 and I'm following the law, let's say it's a 65 zone and grace is usually like 11 to 14 miles an hour. So you're legal at that point. If I'm going 70 and we'll go back to the little old lady, switches lanes or something at one point, and I clip her, well, that's a tragedy. If I'm doing 160, though, I'm breaking the law in every which way, and also the probability of that turning into it's way higher.
Yeah.
So you know that.
Yeah, and that's the part that you can't justify.
Yeah.
And it's always it always circles back to it's going to be a rational thought. Every single time.
Yeah. Pull that in.
What do you call it? Megalo?
He was diagnosed with megalomaniacal narcissistic personality disorder. I have to say that like 6 times in my head too.
Me too. I don't consider it a disorder, but I mean, I wouldn't say put me in that pool, but I see where you're coming from. Yeah.
Right.
I don't. Yeah.
Every single one of us is getting diagnosed with some kind of
He's saying every single one of us is. You want to say it again into the mic?
Yeah, every single one of us is getting diagnosed with something. Like, there's definitely, for a fact. And that
Yeah, 'cause,
narcissism is probably a very good word to put on it. 'Cause it definitely probably does go back to some kind of narcissistic behavior. And awareness is one thing, but there's no justification.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that, you know, I'm like one of the persons that was least likely to ever start doing stuff like this. Like, I never drove in my life until like recently, like a couple years ago. Like, I never really had a license as a kid. I never wanted a car.
And you got this good.
Yeah. So my family was always pretty poor. And money was always a huge issue, like, growing up. So, like, I was always, like, searching for ways to make money, and I've always had opportunities to make money illegally, but I never really took them, you know? It's, like, even with, like, the swimming stuff, like, when I upload videos to YouTube, like, those videos, most of them get the yellow dollar sign. And because it's not it's not following the ad guidelines. So I'm not doing this for the money, right? It's just it's fun, and my like threshold is just like I don't live a life of crime, but just speeding is I really wish everything that we're doing now gets to a point where there's so much money that we don't have to do it on the road, right? That craving gets scratched on the track.
Even though we did say like track days might be tough, but
Yeah.
listen, if I got track money, track time, track freedom, I'm going.
And
Swim
more
motorsports.
tracks, maybe.
So,
Yeah, swim racing, swim motorsports. Those are gonna be things. We
yeah,
want
I
to
think
we
really
want to
do
have a
wanna go
shop
into
and
motorsport,
someday
yeah.
like
Yeah, we want to have a shop one
I
day.
believe
We
you.
want to have like all of the stuff that like Hoonigan just recently they went bankrupt. Like Hoonigan has left a hole in people's hearts.
Hoonigan?
Yeah, Hoonigan. It's a company. They basically make car videos, and they make really good videos. And then they got, you know, Ken Block, God rest his soul. So he recently he passed away. And but he was one of their best drivers, and he would literally there's videos of him like drifting up the mountainside or whatnot. And they made these videos on like closed courses and whatnot. And for us to have, in due time, we will have the resources to make stuff like that happen. But like I said, it's kind of like we already have a platform. I didn't think it was going to get this big, and now we kind of have to pivot and go in a different direction. Like, we don't plan on doing this for the rest of our lives. Like, I'm getting older. Everyone here is getting older, you know. You get wiser. You eventually stop taking as much risk. Like, I mean, I know I want to start a family when I get, you know, if I
Would
do
you want
get,
your kids doing what you do?
hell no, but it's unrealistic to tell your kid not to speed. He's going to do it anyway.
I've had a lot of shower thoughts, and as much as I've had a lot of shower thoughts, kids, man, you can only guide them. You can't tell them. I don't know what my kids are gonna do, man. I really don't. I don't know. But
Like,
I
honestly,
wouldn't want it.
the first thing
You
I would
wouldn't
do,
want them to drive like you
Yeah,
do.
but you can't control. I wouldn't want anybody.
Well, wait, you can't really. Well, not from me personally.
Stay with the mic, but yeah.
I think like I grew up differently. Like my dad drove. Like he's a driver. Like he knows that I drive. Like I think there's a certain point. Like for me, like if I have a kid and they decide that they want to drive, well, me as a father, knowing the stuff that I know now, I'll try to do as much as I can for my kid. Like if I know they want to take up an interest in this field, then I'll get you into go-karting. We could try to get you into all the right
Ways.
avenues. Yeah,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's a better way.
Yeah, I'll try to get them into like better avenues to channel this because that's what I wanted. Like if I had it in a different way, you never know. I might not have been here. I might have been a race car driver somewhere if it went differently.
Right. But where's your does anyone ever call you that? Like where's?
yeah,
Okay.
Where's,
All right.
or they
So-
say 9.
It just
As I
feels
say,
weird,
yeah.
like coming out that
Just
way.
you could just say 9.
I've been
Nine,
saying
yeah.
9, 8. I've been saying it
Yeah,
all. That,
sometimes
but,
they got Bob.
like, do people? You keep saying one day though. Do you have a date goal in your head, and like, do you also recognize that you might not make it to that day?
Yeah, That's why I got life insurance. No, I'm kidding.
I do too, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Who the fuck is insuring you?
Yeah,
They
that's
need to be fired.
I got
that's
one
what
of the
I'm
highest
saying. They don't
rates
know.
at my insurance
They don't
company.
know.
One of the lowest rates of my insurance company too.
You what?
I said I actually have one of the lowest rates of my insurance company.
'Cause
too,
they don't know
for
that
my
you
life
drive.
insurance. Well, they know I drive, but
Yeah, you drive on the road
yeah,
like everyone else.
yeah.
Yeah, on the road.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but going back to that kid topic, I would like try to make my kid understand that, like, you gotta respect the car. Like, this is like a bunch of metal on wheels that could go really fucking fast, and if you're not careful, you're gonna hurt yourself or somebody else. And going back to that, like, every time my father has told me no, and he didn't give me a reason, I would always be curious to, I need a reason, especially, I know myself, I need a reason as to why I'm being told no, why we can't do that. Like, when I was growing up, so that's how I would raise my kids and just make them understand that, you're growing, here's a car, this is how you drive it. I actually, like, I wouldn't say put a governor on the car, like it limits the speed.
Yeah.
But it's like,
Like on golf carts.
yeah, but it's like you have to, as a father, you need to understand how much your child can comprehend and what's going through his head and, like, know his tendencies, and, like, play off of that. Like, if I know that my kid don't listen to me, I'm not giving him a fast car.
Right.
Right. And you've seen there's been incidences where people pass away because parents have given their 16-year-old, 17-year-old the keys to a Porsche, a Scat, a Charger. Right. And it's like, it's at the end of the day, the fact that my parents would tell me to stop and not do it, that is the greatest thing that they can ever tell me, because they've done their part as a parent and has told me that it is wrong. Right. But if you don't even do that step, you're kind of fucking up as a mom, dad,
Brad and 929, you guys want to weigh in on this, like with your kids? Like if you have kids, like what your message to them would be? Would you want them driving?
You wanna go first?
Fuck it. If I have kids, here's the thing about kids, right?
Can you move back, floats?
You gotta like learn as growing up. You learn things sometimes the easy way, sometimes the hard way. And I don't want to tell my kid to not experience life, because I understand where there's not a certain freedom that, personally I had growing up. I had to like fight for certain leisures to be able to like, show them that like, listen, I'm responsible to go outside. Like, you don't have to call me at 11 o'clock wondering where I'm at. Like, I'm good. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that's parents. They're always going to worry about their children. But it's like, if I do have kids, I'd tell them, experience life. Just always think about what you're doing from different perspectives. Because like a lot of people in life don't think about things from different perspectives.
The way other people may be affected.
Yeah, the way other people might be affected, might look at this or something like that. So I feel like just being like omni-perspectivized, I don't even know if that's a word, but like, just being able to see things from a different lens is very key to growing up in life.
Well, also, what I want to say is, like, depending on how you got your car is also how much you respect what you're doing. Like, if you were given things, like if your parents bought you the car, which isn't bad, right? But you tend to look at it at a different way than someone that's worked their whole life for their dream car,
kind of thing.
right? And none of us here come from money, right? And we had to really struggle. Like, there's been nights, like, I remember one time I was like talking to God because I was trying to figure out how to make money so I could feed my dog, I got a dog, so.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't narrow things down. You're okay.
But I got like a bunch of them, but yeah, man, it's like, it's one of those things, like, sometimes you just got to keep on going. You got to keep on going. I don't even know how I'm here speaking on a podcast. I really don't know how my life got to this point. We just kind of freestyled the whole thing,
It was Tommy G.
Yes, Tommy G.
99, you want to weigh in?
I just feel like, honestly, like, when it comes to, like, if I had a kid and he wanted to, like, drive and stuff, like, just to keep it short and simple, I feel like, honestly, I would let him experience it, but more so, like, from my experience, I would want to be in the car with him for, like, the beginning, just to see, like, what he's doing and, like, have him practice, And yeah, honestly, like, just adding on to what Bright said, just like letting him literally experience like whatever he wants to do. Because I feel like I will have trust in my kid and my child. So
Yeah, I've been thinking about this because I knew you guys were coming in over the last few weeks. I've been thinking about this a lot, and like a common thing that people really look down on, and righteously so, is like when we see a tragedy where like a drunk driver killed somebody. And there was one very public one recently that happened close to where I grew up with some guys who some of my friends grew up with and know really well. You hear about this Gaudreau case with the hockey player and his brother?
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, so Johnny Gaudreau, future Hall of Fame hockey player, he and his brother Matty, who were both South Jersey legends in hockey, were home to be in their sister's wedding on August 30th. And the night before, I believe they were biking from their parents' childhood house to a friend of theirs' new house that they had bought, something like that. And on the way there, a drunk driver hit both of them and killed both of them instantly.
Damn.
Johnny had 2 young kids, ages 2 and 6 months. His wife is pregnant with a third. Maddie's wife was pregnant with their first. And the parents had to bury their 2 sons. And this was very public because obviously it's public because Johnny is he's a celebrity. He's a well-known guy. But, you know, when you see cases like this that are public, it forces all of us to have to look at the pain that those families are in because someone made a very bad decision. And I'm never going to defend drunk driving, but like those people that drive drunk, they make a very bad selfish decision and put a family like that through torture. When they do it, their mind is literally inebriated, so they're in a bad position to make a decision. When you guys go out on the road, though, again, you're not driving drunk. You're very highly skilled drivers, but you're driving dangerously, and you're making this decision. You don't do anything, to be clear, we haven't said this on air yet. You don't do anything where you're drinking or smoking or ever getting behind a wheel like that. So you are doing everything sober, but you're still getting behind a wheel and making a conscious decision to drive 160, 180 miles an hour where you could potentially kill somebody. So, you know, this has come up several times today. But do you see why there's people who would say the anger I feel at the driver who killed the Gaudreaus, I feel at you?
You want me to be so honest? Like, people make choices every day. And, like, you have to live with those choices. You have to live with the consequences of your actions. If I, God forbid, if I was to crash into somebody, like, I'd be at a loss of words. Like, especially if I was the reason why somebody else's life was gone. It's like, it's fun till it's not.
Yep.
Right? And that's why we're all telling you that we can't justify this, but we still do it. And that is like the ultimate worst case scenario. And I pray to God that never happens. And like I said, like the chances of that happening was probably a lot higher years ago when I was younger and I wasn't really, like thinking with the same mindset that I have now. Honestly, in my opinion, my driving has tamed down a lot compared to like my older videos. If you watch my older videos, they were a lot more reckless compared to like what I'm putting out now.
One thing as well is that still no justifying, but when you're drunk, you don't have that same ability to minimize risk.
That's right.
You don't care. All fucks are out the window. Like, there's nothing telling you to not do this, to brake here, to do this. Like, I can see how somebody could try and draw it along the same lines, but you don't have control when you're drunk.
And I would argue that every time we drive like this, like we're probably the only ones paying. We're the people that's paying attention to the road the most. We're not on our phone. We're not like we're
just use your
completely
mirrors.
focused on the road, trying to like survive. Really,
If you, as a driver and as someone who would like to stay away from people like us or try to stay as safe as possible on the highway as possible, use your mirrors. Be aware of your surroundings. Just look at what's going behind you just a couple of times. Do not switch lanes even if, fuck the blinker, but just look. Just look. Just take that 1 second to turn your head and look. Forget the people driving fast, but just for the sake of like little old grandma could be in the left lane right there, and the amount of times I see people that they start, like, people do use their blinker, but they start to, like I said, they sway, they drift. So your mind has already made the decision that you're going to switch lanes. But before you even indicate to other people or even see if you're even able to, you're already switching lanes. Stop doing that. Look behind you. Make sure it's clear. Don't make last minute decisions. If you know you have to take an exit, don't yeet from the fucking first lane across 3 lanes to go try and take an exit. Don't do that. Like, if you want to make yourself as safe as possible, be aware of your surroundings, follow all the traffic laws, because I'm not gonna lie, bro, if you just stay there, if I'm on the road and I'm driving fast, reckless, whatever it is, if you want to stay safe, keep doing what you're doing. Don't switch lanes, don't start slowing down, don't make any maneuver. If it's an emergency, obviously do what you have to do. I'm going to try and prevent the emergency. I'm going to try and do what I can as well. But if you're someone that just sits there and you're lackadaisy and you stop paying attention and you just switch lanes and you don't even look back, even outside of me, you're probably going to hit somebody, bro. Even if it's a small fender bender, you could have just saved your car just by you just looking at your mirror. The simple things will prevent you. And honestly, truly, if we all follow traffic laws, we could not exist.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say, because
there's no way.
Say that again. If
everybody follow, the fast lane is for fast people. The middle lane is for a little bit slower, and then you have the slow lane.
So you wouldn't exist if people followed?
Because look, in Germany,
in and out of lanes.
If we was to take a
we
flight,
switch in and out of lanes because
I understand
the staggering of traffic.
If we took a flight to Germany right now, you'd look like the
going
biggest
fast. The
idiot
going
trying to
fast
lanes.
is not the problem. Like, it's been proven in Germany on the autobahn.
Right.
You could go crazy speeds that I still haven't even touched yet.
Yeah.
And you got guys holding conversations at those speeds. So it's not like it's speed. It's just the way traffic is set up. It needs a.
But that is the way traffic's set up here, though.
And
like,
we
need a reset. Honestly.
And again, the challenge that people will have to what you say there, I don't disagree with you. Like, people should pay more attention.
I have to adjust to the traffic 100%.
They'll say that, but they'll also say, okay, so you're equating driving 90 miles over the speed limit on the same level as someone who just doesn't use their blinker to move from one lane to another. And I'd say that person's less at fault than you, though. You see why I'd say that? Like, if you're going 90, like if the speed, because you're in America, it's not Germany, and so the way we drive is different.
I'm 100% at fault. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Because I know there are people that sit there and switch lanes at random times. So why would I put myself in a situation to where I can't prevent that from being an accident? You're right. I understand. But it's going to go back into humans are irrational, can't justify.
Love that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but people need, look, because the road laws is the same over here too. Like, the left is for passing, the right lane, you stay in the right lane. And the middle lane is also for passing, right? Like, if someone's in the middle, that's when you're supposed to use the leftmost lane to pass somebody. But people don't follow the road laws here, right? Sometimes, like, in my videos, you'll see, like, there's traffic, and then after that little bubble of traffic, it's just free game. There's no traffic. So, like, why was that there in the first place? And you find out that it's one guy in the middle lane holding everybody up because they're going slow. Right. And it's just stuff like that just makes you. So it all started off with us just trying to get to places on time, and then you realize you're kind of good at it.
Fair enough. Well, we covered a lot of ground today. I appreciate you guys answering all the questions and everything. Obviously, like, you know, you do a risky thing, so there's going to be hard questions, but, like, you're good sports about it, and you work with Tommy as well. People out there are certainly going to have some strong opinions about what you do on the other side of it, not to condone it, again, don't try this at home.
We can't make
But
everybody happy.
You can't make everyone happy, but I mean, some of the driving puts NASCAR to shame. I mean, it's
I mean,
pretty
Or
unbelievably
NASCAR,
good.
they're still that's what like I said, driving at high speeds for a long time, that's a toll.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give my props to the NASCAR
No,
drivers.
any type of professional racing, they have like top level endurance, especially when it's like about their health and stuff.
Well, I hope you guys at least keep moving towards the long-term vision of being able to not do this and focus on the other things,
Things like
and
this
then
help. Thank you.
and maybe improve that. And I hope that happens sooner rather than later,
Yeah.
and that nothing in between that happens. But y'all are grown men, you know, you're gonna make your decisions and everything. But thanks for doing it, guys. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
And thank you, man. Thank you for having us,
Absolutely,
man.
absolutely.
Everybody,
Everybody else, don't try it at home. You know the drill. I'll probably put a disclaimer in the front of this. Put a disclaimer in the front of this video, but you know what it is. Give it a thought. Get back to me. Peace. Thank you guys for watching the episode. Before you leave, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and smash that like button on the video. It's a huge help. And also, if you're over on Instagram, be sure to follow the show at Julian Dorey Podcast, or also on my personal page at Julian D. Dorey. Both links are in the description below. Finally, if you'd like to catch up on our latest episodes, use the Julian Dorey Podcast playlist link in the description below. Thank you. To the YouTuber viewers, I want to reiterate, this video is fully for educational purposes only. As a documentary, it follows all monetization guidelines. We showed far less than Tommy G showed in his 11 million plus view video from April 2024 that you guys reviewed for full monetization. So again, I'll put the screenshot of that right here. He was fully monetized. He gave this to me, and I would appreciate it if you guys saw this the same way. And again, you can see my written disclaimer at the front of the video explaining all this. Thank you.